Are we actually not enabled for streaming on the channel?
That can't be possible. I've gone to shut up. I'm not even listening to you. Why did I?
We never streamed.
All right, let's go back to the home of YouTube Studio. Okay. No, that's not what I want.
Coolest lights yet. Kamui, before I was preferred to have gone right. Not that left was bad, but now if the lights are this way, I'm freaking glad I went left at first. That was at the very least freaking cool lights here.
Okay, it says we're live, but it's not using my thumbnail, so let's change that.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. Well. Welcome back to our channel. I almost said the streaming channel, but this is just the normal podcast. King of Chaos. Hey.
Hi everyone. It's King of Chaos.
Well, we've been pre-streaming the past hour, so if you want to join the Discord, then next time you get to hear the off-stream stream. And it was honestly mad entertaining, at least from my perspective. And so I'm glad that we had that conversation.
Hey, since we're live, can I give a shout out to my wife?
Shout out King of Chaos's wife, bro. King of Chaos, tell us about your wife. Queen of Chaos. Queen of Chaos, I love it.
That's what I refer to her as all the time. That's what my community calls her too. They're like, "How's the Queen of Chaos doing? Is she still?" Because I'm always talking about how like my wife is cute, but because look, if I ever get reborn, right, my life is gonna be an anime where I'm the best support character ever to my wife, and the anime will be called "My Wife is Cute but Difficult." ... It'll just be
that's good.
Numerous shenanigans of me taking L's, trying to trying to help my wife, who is constantly in some type of shenanigan. That's what it will be. Because
so good. Speaking of shenanigans, Kamui, how's the shenanigans going?
I think it's working.
Did you do it? You think? Okay, I'll take that as probably good enough.
Live. Only 2 people watching. If you go to like our channel live, the most recent one is the upcoming, so I feel like that's not good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the interface for
I'm just gonna take it down.
It's not a good interface for live.
Yeah, okay. As long as you don't screw over that. So, Two Blue Vortex Chapter 14 makes no sense. Getting to the stream. Hey guys, what'd you think about that?
Wait, we're live?
No, we've been live.
Okay, thank God. I swear to you guys, I cannot tell. I just can't. And no one will even tell me.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. What happened to hating Two Blue Vortex, though?
Oh yeah, so chapter 14, it makes no sense.
Yeah, as we were saying.
I finally made it back to the fork in the road.
So where do you want to start?
Stream,
do you want to start with any intro topics, or do you just want to get into the topics?
Well,
let's start with Sakura.
Sakura. I actually do like the intro topic idea.
Huh?
So, Kamui, you want to do intro topics? I feel like that could be fun.
Sure. Which one?
There's an echo, by the way, somewhere. I don't mind it.
Oh, I can't even go. Yeah, I know. Just gotta deal with it. It's not on stream, though, so it's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
That's a fucking main road here? Where is this?
Are you listening to my shared screen? Is that why?
Oh, is this? I didn't take a fork. Okay, I see what's happening now.
Oh, you're right. If I turn off the shared screen.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's really annoying.
Is that the main road? Fine.
Intro topics.
Either way. Intro topics.
Oh, I did fix it.
Well, Kamui, you're there, so I'm going to let you choose which intro topic to do with King of Chaos.
Well, King of Chaos, let me ask you a question. Did you know that Ino is worse than Scum?
Yes, I agree completely. I'm glad someone's finally calling her out for how fucking dog she's been. I mean, how.
Well, wait, but like we're talking about like canonically in universe. So what can you point to within the primary source material canon to prove Ino is worse than Scum from a narrative screenwriter's perspective?
Okay. Bullying Naruto.
No. Sorry. Let me clarify. Boruto era Ino is canonically worse than Scum. Please elaborate for me.
Canonically.
Yeah. Okay, now that. I don't know about that one.
You don't?
That comes out.
Well,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Give me a second, and I'm gonna play something for you, and then I'll see if you change your mind. Bear with me for one moment.
I am on Google Maps. Ridiculous.
Let me make sure stream doesn't see this for a
I
second.
know exactly what that is, but what?
What's this? All right, just look at fixing guys in for a second. What's this?
Okay.
All right, this is the only thing I have. Okay, just look at that for a second, stream, while I figure this out.
Think before.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
We'll turn it up in a moment. Just wait a moment.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You were not. Shut up.
Kamui's always at it.
Wait, hold on.
Love to see
King
it.
of Chaos, don't look at my stream for a second.
Can I walk on this?
Okay, I think this might be perfect. Okay, here.
Rules are scum.
Well,
least this one's
Kakashi, hold on a
relevant.
second. Okay.
Honestly, I don't think. Oh my god.
Okay, stream. I think you can listen to this without copyright because it's short enough. Okay, King of Chaos. I'm assuming can you turn on the audio of the share screen so you can listen in a second?
Yes.
Okay. Now, everybody, just
I know what you have to show me
be
now.
quiet for a
You're
minute,
awful.
and we want everyone just quietly. Let's just listen to,
Don't
you
get
know,
us
let's just listen to some words,
I
okay?
hate you.
Everyone, ready?
Yeah.
To every trap, they couldn't think for themselves. A ninja must see through deception. In the ninja world, those who break the rules are scum. That's true. But those who abandon their friends are worse than scum.
Okay. Now, King of Chaos, just to make
Not
sure,
at all.
just
Not
to make
at
sure,
all.
just to
I'm
make
ready.
sure, just to make sure we're on the same page. Do you mind repeating that for me? Starting with in the
those
ninja
who
world.
betray their friends are worse than scum.
Yeah,
Nick
that's important as
rocks.
well.
No.
Okay.
We need to address this.
Okay.
No.
Now,
We are not
now
going to
King
eat
of
over
Chaos,
this.
real quick.
What?
I want you to remember what Kakashi said. I'll say it to you again. In the ninja world, those who break the rules are scum. That's true. But those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. Now, King of Chaos, real quick. Do you remember what Shikamaru did in this chapter?
Something illegal.
So what he did,
Something literally illegal.
Oh, perfect. So what he did was this. He said, I'm not
Yeah,
ordering
that
you
works.
as Hokage, but as a friend. Shikamaru asked Ino, as a friend, to break the rules. And what Ino did was follow the rules instead of helping her friend. Ino chose the rules over her friend. Therefore, based off the lore of Naruto, Ino is canonically worse than scum.
One man's Indo.
Shikamaru,
that's one man's
Shikamaru might be scum, but Ino is worse than scum.
According to
You can't say that's
Kakashi-
not true because narratively, Obito was worse than scum.
Damn. There's also that.
When he betrayed his
Yeah,
friend.
so unless you agree with me about Obito.
When
Look,
he
here's
betrayed
the
his
thing,
friend.
right?
Not in the flashback.
Kamui,
He
if
said-
I asked you right
sorry.
now to do something illegal, are you going to do it just because you like me? I'm assuming you like me at least a little bit. Like,
King
we're
Chaos,
probably homies,
you're,
right?
you're forgetting an important premise. In the ninja world,
What?
this applies. We are not in the ninja world. Therefore, it is not analogous.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Plus, the Naruto universe doesn't have law, they have shinobi law.
Yeah, they have rules.
Well, Kakashi, thank God Kakashi's not Hokage anymore because he doesn't get to decide if someone's scum.
He should be Hokage
Look, here's
still.
my thing.
Why do we have Shikadir to Hokage?
Imagine
Listen, are
Kakashi
you not going to
simply
follow
prayed
Sakamo because Sakamo was doing something illegal on a mission? Are you not going to follow Kid Obito because Kid Obito was doing something illegal
Kid
on a
Obito
mission?
got packed because he wasn't obeying.
Okay, Rin didn't.
Ren also got packed.
Well, from a different mission, that doesn't count.
But, like, she was put in a pack, though.
But she wasn't worse than scum, like, you know.
Look, Shikamaru has to understand. He's asking, he'll get away. Here's a different position they're in. As Hokage, yeah, they might slap him on the wrist. He'll probably get in trouble. But as a regular ninja, she's going to get in trouble for that. So, no, your friend's asking you to do something
King of Chaos.
Going to set you up.
If Shikamaru had ordered her as Hokage, therefore making it the rule, Ino was going to do it. but because he asked as a friend, she said no.
We don't know that.
Because
we do not know
is
that.
worse than scum.
No.
And she doesn't
Head
care.
canon.
It's
Head canon. We do not know what she was going to say.
It's implied that she would have done it if it was an order as Hokage.
No, it's not.
Your own argument.
For all we know, she could have said, okay, well, if you're asking me as Hokage, you're asking me for an illegal order, therefore I won't do it. Because guess what? In the military, you're allowed to do that for non-legal orders too. So we don't know what route she's not some one of the mill.
Is that an order, Hokage?
She didn't do it for the order.
If he had said yes, it's implying that she would have done it. But because he said he's not ordering her as Hokage,
it is not implying that. It is not implying that at all. No, it's not. That's
technically, if it's an order from the Hokage, then if you disobey an order from the Hokage, you're breaking the rules.
No, if the Hokage tells you to murder a bunch of Genin, okay, so Itachi was in the clear, right?
What do you mean?
Itachi didn't break the rules
all the time.
So then he should be able to walk in Konoha, no problem.
So she broke the rules, and she didn't do it for him as a friend.
The problem is the Leaf Villagers thought Itachi broke the rules when actually he followed the rules, because they did not know what the rules actually were under that context.
Okay, so if you mean to tell me that if Konoha found out that Itachi had done that, like he was ordered, they would have been like, oh, well, he was just following orders. No big deal. You mean to tell me that you think that's
what they did? Did you watch the series? Nobody criticized it once they found out. You could argue
they
that's
don't know
a flaw,
that Itachi did that. They don't know that Itachi did the Uchiha massacre. It's not public knowledge. Naruto
the 5 people who do know were fully supportive of him.
Yeah, the 5 people. That's not the reason they. If
that's
they
100% of our sample size.
No, look at the rest of the sample size of the people who do know who saw what he did and are not okay with his actions.
But they don't know that it was an order.
Legality doesn't make it. That doesn't make it okay. Legality and morality aren't the same thing.
Yes, but in the ninja world, those who break the rules are scum.
Decision save more lives.
But those who betray their friends are more. So Itachi's right for murdering them, right?
Here's the thing, King of Chaos.
Right for saving more
Itachi
lives.
is more friends with the village than he is his clan. Therefore, he didn't abandon.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't say friends.
Can you prove it?
I mean, Ino thinks that he's helping. That the Hokage is helping a traitor. So imagine if Madara was alive and Ino, and then Shikamaru came to Ino and said, "Hey, shut off everyone's brain." Theoretically, she could do that. Shut off everyone's brain.
That's not Ino's reasoning, though. She says that
Boruto.
It needs to be reported, and this is violating regulations.
Hold on. That is not all she says.
Rules.
She says, "Why do you trust Boruto so much?" Blah blah blah. I don't like. Why do you champion him? I don't buy his story. That's her problem. She doesn't believe in what he's doing. That's the premise of this.
And she's abandoning her friend.
She's not helping her friend commit an illegal crime. Yes,
but this was perfectly with what Kakashi said as well. What's the very first thing he said? In the Shinobi world, you have to see past deception.
Sure. Good luck
She's
seeing past
asking about deception right now.
Hey,
Ino's not looking past the deception. She's looking at the rules.
Hey, no, she's looking at also the fact that she believes this man killed Naruto. Are you drunk? She thinks this man.
Ino's reminding me a lot of young Kakashi at the beginning of Kakashi Gaiden. She's all about the rules. Rules this, rules that.
Not. She helped them.
She needs an Obito in her life to change her heart.
So a Kawaki?
Kawaki doesn't give a shit, bro. He's over there just sitting, look at the ceiling fan.
Man, Kawaki is scum. I hope that he goes through every bad thing Boruto has experienced.
I mean,
I hope that
Kawaki did abandon his friends. He's worse than scum.
Yes, he did. He abandoned Boruto.
That's what I said. I said he did.
He's like, oh, my karma's hit. Oh, I think he did.
He's worse than scum. He's just like Ino.
He's not. Nah, Ino's valid.
Ino's worse than scum.
Nah, y'all are tripping.
Not just scum.
Honestly,
no, but think about it. You're just saying she's gonna get a slap on the wrist anyways. What's the big deal? So
no, I'm saying no. I'm saying the Hokage will get a slap on the wrist. Like what is the worst that'll happen? They'll take his position. He might get in some trouble. Whatever. Ino, she'll dishonor. She'll dishonor her clan. She might get. fucking put in jail, tortured, like our boy Boruto.
Not. Which Shikamaru's the leader. He's just gonna not put her in jail.
Oh yeah, because Hokages can just protect you unilaterally. That's why they told him those crusty ass elders told him that
if anyone was going to go to jail for this, it would be Shikamaru because he's giving the order. They're not going to put Ino in jail for listening to Shikamaru's orders as Hokage.
Yes, they will. Hold up, let me be very clear here, yo. Not to be that guy, but as a bastard here with some military experience, you can't just be like, oh, I was following orders. They got rid of that shit in like forever ago. And in the ninja world, we see that there are consequences to actions anyways, regardless of.
Then they're both going in jail. It's not going to be just Ino, though. It's either only Shikamaru or both of them. They're not going to only punish Ino for following his order.
Of course not. But Ino's punishment could be more severe because she doesn't have the political power of a Kage. Like, let's not act like that's not a small thing.
If Shikamaru's imprisoned, he's not going to be Hokage to get himself out of prison.
Okay, well, not to get too political here, but there are plenty of... We've seen real life the effects... worldly status can have on one's prison sentence. I mean, look at the fact that Naruto and Kakashi were able to get Sasuke a lighter sentence because of their
Exactly. Not just a lighter sentence, they got Bro out. Bro was doing a revolution against the world.
Yeah, and Shikamaru doesn't have nearly as much pull as Naruto, but he probably doesn't have to save himself. I just don't think that he's going to have enough to
save Ino. Wait, hold on. I didn't say that Ino's worse than scum. Why are you assuming Shikamaru would be worse than scum and just abandon Ino?
I don't think he would abandon. I just don't think he can. I think from the guise of where Ino is looking at things, that she believes, one, he's right, and two, that he can protect her. Because from Ino's perspective, this guy's helping a traitor. And it doesn't matter if you're Hokage. If you betray the village...
But if Shikamaru got himself out of jail, I feel like he would say, hey, Ino's in the clear too. She followed my orders. If anyone's going to jail, it's me. He's not just going to say, Ino, stay in jail.
No, I'm not saying out of jail in the literal sense of it, like, oh, okay, I'm pardoning that. I'm saying that, like, his sentence is lighter due to his overall... contribution to the ninja world as the 8th Hokage, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's contribution simply by, well, not only just that, but his overall involvement in the 4th Ninja War.
What about
Shikamaru has some
pull. Was Ino not involved?
Yeah, Ino's involved.
I mean, division commander, eventually taking over and then literally processing the whole battlefield once everyone died. No, Ino doesn't have the same capital as Shikamaru.
Ino had a more involvement than Shikamaru did in the 4th War.
Yes, she synced everyone's mind, but Shikamaru was actively the one out there giving orders. They played. No, we're not even gonna say that Ino had more involvement.
Shikamaru passed out. At least Ino was awake the whole time.
All right, nah, y'all are drunk on that. If we're actually saying Ino's involvement in the war is bigger than Shikamaru's, and he was literally leading the battlefield.
You know something, actually? Ino wasn't worse than scum in the war.
Why? Because she didn't abandon... she helped Asuma die. No, she helped Asuma die by letting...
Asuma wasn't her friend. That was her enemy.
Oh, God, come on. Okay, so teammates aren't your friends. They're your comrades. Your subordinates aren't your friends. They're your comrades.
No, that was an Edo Tensei. Asuma was not being a comrade in that scene when he was trying to kill them.
But he is a comrade.
That wasn't even Asuma's body. That was literally some random other person.
His soul? That was his actual soul, though? Question mark?
And he wasn't...
body, though?
And it wasn't doing what his soul wanted, therefore making him an enemy.
What? No, you're breaking your back reaching on that one.
Okay. So Asuma's her friend, right? Asuma asked her to do it.
Hey, she still abandoned him.
Stopped doing. No, Choji was abandoning his friend from your perspective.
Hey,
he wasn't listening to Asuma.
If my friend tells me to give them crack, I'm not going to do it. Just because your friend asks you to do something you say no is not abandoning them. That's an awful premise.
In this case with Ino, it was, bro. Girl just said, sorry, Shikamaru. Fuck you. I ain't helping you, bro.
Would you help a traitor that you thought killed Ood? I wouldn't.
Yeah, because it's fucking obvious that he's fine when you just look at the freaking photos where he looks identical to... have you seen this, where is this panel? Here, let's do the side by
the
second.
Baby photos.
You already know which panel. Okay, hold on. You see this panel right there, right here. Okay, hold on.
I know exactly. Do not bring up the
so let's see what chapter it is. Probably.
No, not what I thought.
Next chapter. Okay. I'm sure you've already seen this on like Twitter.
It's a Halloween house.
Okay, this is a little bit bigger, but you can see the look in their faces, and these guys look pretty similar.
Look,
pretty similar looking kids. They're looking a lot more like Naruto than Kawaki did.
You're operating off of the guise that this is the regular world and people have like above average. Like, they literally have space ninja magic that says that it doesn't matter if you think you can tell, you can't. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's the whole thing of omniscience. I mean, shoot, a blood test would solve this. Just blood test Himawari in Boruto. GG's. Nothing else matters. Just do that.
Proving my point.
But everyone... No, the point is that they can't see past. It doesn't matter. Logic can't defeat space magic. It's that simple.
Oh, it can't?
No.
Oh, really? Okay, so I agree that should have been the case, but let me direct you to something that dictates otherwise. Are you
sure.
Chaos? Are you aware of the time that Shikamaru used logic to outdo space-time magic nonsense, as you put it? Where So
see, they're clear. Okay.
They make sense. Logically, they make sense.
You're right. The same way that people at first were noticing, why is Kawaki's body modified? However, my dear friend Kamui, could you please go to Boruto TBV Vortex chapter 14? I believe it's page 22, where Shikamaru begins to forget. He's like, wait a minute. No. Let me finish. You see, you're only choosing and picking where we're doing top. You won't let me boy have his turn too. So when he's literally forgetting it due to space magic, and he has to remember and rely. Let me finish. He has to rely on the fact that his memories told him that he was going to trust it. That's what he's relying on. He's not relying off of a reason. He's not surpassing it off of that.
Logic is stored in the brain next to memories.
So
it is not the same thing.
Or it might be the same thing. I don't know.
It might.
So real quick,
it might be.
He forgot one word, omnipotence, and remembered the rest of the conversation.
He's saying, hold up. And on what basis do I find Boruto trustworthy? So he didn't just forget that. He also forgot initially why he forgot Boruto. It's right there. You can see it. On what basis do I find Boruto trustworthy? So he forgot that instantly too.
And then he remembered something that makes that even worse. He didn't just forget that it's not that he just forgot a word was there. He only forgot the word. So there is still a blank in his mind where the word is. It's not like that moment was just cut out and they're cutting from the previous word to the next word. That word is essentially still there, just censored. He knows it's there.
No. He knows something's there, but the premise, it said itself, the premise of omniscience erases itself in your brain. That's why he's having this whole convo again. He doesn't remember.
He doesn't know what the reason is, but he knows there is a essentially censored reason.
No, he says for no logical reason. He says right there, for no logical reason. I'm convinced
but there is a reason.
No, he says for no logical reason.
So why does he clarify logical?
He says for no oh my God. That's
there is a
one
reason.
Thing I hate about Vortex. No, that's not clarifying. He's just not using verbatim language in every single instance. Like, you're taking that out of context. He's literally saying for no logical reason. What does he mean?
We're looking at the panel.
Exactly. He's saying for no logical reason. But he remembers having the conversation. I have the memory of choosing to believe that. That's what he's doing here. This isn't about logic. He's deciding to believe it. Because the whole premise of, I believe they said in like chapter 3, that the concept erases itself from your memory and everything connected.
They said like 10 different things at this point. Who knows?
True.
Yeah,
but I do remember him saying that if you want to trust me, you have to believe me for no reason at all. That is what Boruto said. So he's not basing this off logic.
Has a reason. It's just not
no
a
reason.
One.
No, he says no reason. Yeah, no reason.
He has
that's his
the
reason.
Memory agreeing to trust him.
No, he says he has a memory of deciding that. Yeah, deciding that. But he doesn't know, like, for no logical reason. Those are his words.
Well, yeah, trust is decided within decisions. I agree.
No, yeah, the same as logic. You can decide to speed down the highway. That doesn't mean it's a logical choice. The action
it wouldn't be a logical choice.
Does not mean that it's inclusive of logic.
Well, I mean, in certain contexts, it could be a logical choice.
Sure, but he's saying for no logical reason. He's clarifying, so there's no mistake that you can't. This isn't about reason. Now, hold up. I think I might have self-cucked here. Because Amato is doing it off of reason. Hold up.
So hold on. So let me just go through the weirdness of omnipotence very briefly. Okay.
Oh God.
So
I might clip this for my channel because people still don't get it.
So Shikamaru hears, or I guess we'll start. So Amado in the chapter 5, starts explaining from a logical perspective why his memories must have been altered. Sarada says, how can that be? When everyone else still insists that Kawaki is Lord Seven's son, even when shown a family photo with Boruto in it. And blah, blah, blah. She says, so what Amado did is not normal.
Those are two different instances. Hold on. The timeline-wise, those happened before. This was earlier, not after.
Wait, hold on. One thing at a time. Sarada has seemingly shown everyone, and probably including Shikamaru and everyone, makes logical sense because she's arguing with them every other day, the photos of Kawaki. No one believes Sarada. According to Boruto, Sarada and Sumire have even explained... No, hold on. Sarada and
That's not true, though. You gotta see what happened. That isn't what happened. Originally, they were questioning it, but eventually Omnipotence rewrote their mind. You gotta have the full context now, Kamui. You can't leave it out. It's not that they didn't believe her. They did at first, but then their brains eventually corrected.
No one believed Sarada and Sumire. They say this in more than one chapter.
They do? I'm pretty sure that it was more
Shikamaru Shikamaru questioned, hey, Kawaki, why is your body all messed up? Why don't you have Momoshiki? But they never believed that their roles were flip-flop. Like Sarada says, even when they show the photo of Boruto, they still don't believe them. Everyone believes their memory. No, Sumire says they'll believe their memory over any physical evidence. They never say everyone keeps forgetting or everyone keeps changing their mind. When Amado did this, they said it wasn't normal. Sumire was surprised and sweating listening to Amado do this. It wasn't normal to them. They've never seen anyone have this conclusion. Now, according to Boruto, where'd the chapter go?
Hold up, nope. I have it right here, chapter 1. Early on, everyone still sensed some sort of paradox. Like how could Kara have modified Kawaki's body?
That's what I'm saying. They asked the questions, but they never made the conclusions.
No, that they did. They sensed the paradox, but it corrects itself. That's the whole point of it.
Then why did they see? Why were they surprised to see Amado do this? If everyone's doing it every other Tuesday.
As far as saying his memories have been changed, because here's the thing. They aren't talking about the premise of Kawaki here. Amado's not over here debunking the Kawaki. All he's saying is memories are changed. He isn't even using the word omniscience, although I'm pretty sure he triggered it, but I ain't gonna go get into that right now. That's a whole other thing.
Regardless, the point is Amado's saying my memories were altered. They're like,
yes.
Huh? How? See, look, Sarada says, you're saying that despite being affected by omnipotence, Mr. Amado is aware that his memory was rewritten based on physical evidence. How can that be? If Shikamaru figured it out in the past... Well, actually, let's skip to the conclusion here. If Sarada and Sumire explained it to Shikamaru in the past, and he believed them before forgetting, they would not be wondering... How can that be? It would be every other Tuesday with Shikamaru when they explained it. She's wondering, how is this possible?
How can that be?
Shikamaru then says, it never even occurred to me until Amado brought it up that my own memories might be altered. Really? So you're telling me that Sarada and Sumire, when explaining omnipotence, never mentioned that maybe his memories were altered? They didn't explain that? Well, they sure did a bad job of explaining omnipotence.
They've explained omnipotence to him directly. I don't think
Boruto says...
I don't think that they explained omnipotence, honestly.
Okay, so Boruto's just lying then. No matter what, there's a problem.
So, I believe when he's talking... Let me explain, damn. If you want an answer, I can't do it if you're just keep bringing up new things for me to answer. Boruto is talking about the concept of omnipotence. He says, don't bother trying to figure out how omnipotence actually works. You'll soon forget. In fact, this is far from the first time you're hearing about it. So that's omnipotence itself. We saw later on that it erases it. The concept itself erases. Yes, and later on we saw that Shikamaru was actively having the concept erased from his memory. He couldn't even remember the word, right? Because in Boruto chapter 14, he literally forgot the actual word. It blanked out like Ood said. The concept of omnipotence. Let me correct myself. I still don't think that they explained it to him. But even if they did, I do think that he genuinely would have been erased from his memory. Just like
says before. They did.
He's saying this is far from the first time you're hearing from it.
Yeah, how
omnipotence works. I think that in this context, I think Boruto's referencing not specifically omnipotence, but the whole switcheroo in this case. Like he's talking about their lives being swapped. Notice
here's a perfect reason why.
No, here's why.
Well, real quick.
Here's why.
With that, do you think they mention his memories being altered?
Yeah,
okay, can I finish my first point before we go to the next one? Because I can't keep answering every time I answer something.
I want to know if that's included in your point.
I'm going to answer... Well, okay, ask the question again.
In what you think they explained, do you think they mentioned that Shikamaru's memories were altered? Regardless of the word omnipotence. Did they say your memories were changed at any point? Do you think that?
I think I think logic would probably state that, right? Like they have to, everyone's memory's been altered.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think that they wouldn't have had an opportunity to do so because, well, one, we see that they can at least have some type of concept of their memories being altered. We don't see that we see the omnipotence concept whenever that here. Let me clarify. I think that the omnipotence concept itself, when brought up in conjunction with anything, will make you forget the entire. Like, let's say we start talking about omnipotence right now. I think that this entire premise would go away. But Amato, although I think there's a whole nother reason why he's actually immune to it. Amato, let's just pretend he's a regular Joe. Amato's only talking about the memory aspects of it. He's not talking about omnipotence or the world swapping or Boruto and Kaoki's positions, which I think that's a position that Sarada and Sumire argued from. Boruto is not only didn't kill the Hokage, Boruto is the son of Hinata. We see him talking about that too in the chapter. We see him showing baby photos. They're trying to prove the wrong point. If they just focus on the concept of memories being changed, that's one thing. But I think, and what's more likely here is, they're trying to push the Boruto narrative because they don't understand that no matter how much pushing the Boruto narrative and Kaoki switching, that you can't undo that. So I think Amato was able to, well, provided he's a normal guy, was able to break out of that because he's only looking at from the memory aspects being altered, not looking at Boruto and Kaoki being altered. Because that's where, at least from what I've seen in the chapters, that's where most of the confusion comes in, or the disconnect.
So I would be fine with
their
all
memory
of that.
being altered is exclusive to Boruto and Kawaki being altered. That's what he's referring to. The fact that Kawaki has the karma, that's because Boruto and Kawaki were swapped.
Wait, damn. That's a good point.
Also,
damn, that is a good point.
And also,
that's a good point.
If you just remove,
I think Amato's an alien. I'm just gonna spoil it.
Well, I think Amato's immune to omnipotence too. But regardless of that, if you just remove this panel, 90% of our complaints go away, because I think it's fine if Sarada and Sumire just didn't try to explain it that way because they didn't think it would work or whatever. But Boruto's saying that they explained it. It's like, well, how badly did they explain it?
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. Ooh, hold up. My IQ just went to 5 billion. How do we know that they tried explaining it in this timeline? Ooh, I'm goated.
Yeah.
I'm goated.
Well,
bam, multiverse.
I would be fine with that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not. No. Let me chill. I'm not actually gonna go that
I would be fine with that.
You can do
but I
anything.
feel like Sarada and Sumire probably told Boruto in this timeline about it.
Okay, look, honestly, first off, I would not be okay with that. If they were like, oh yeah, we never bothered explaining it, but in alternate timelines, I just know it. I would be pissed. If that was the actual reason, that's awful writing. Then I have a complaint. Let me be clear, that was a troll, because I know someone's going to clip me and try to expose me later. King of frauds. But honestly, I mean, that would be the only reason, that and the fact that they don't want Ada to hear their conversations. But no, there's no way Shikamaru hasn't been like, but no, because here's the thing. If they would have brought this up at some point, like via the mind transfer thing, it would have been on the books. What I'm thinking is maybe they have to combat with the fact that they don't want Ada to know they're immune to her like omnipotence.
Well, they know. She knows that they're immune to the role reversal thing because they've talked about it.
I'm talking about the other aspect of it.
Yeah,
like just the the falling in love with you stuff. I don't know. I think that there's a universe they didn't tell him. Like at least didn't say it in that way.
There probably is a universe, but I don't think that's what Boruto's referring to here. Regardless,
how would he have seen it though? Was my thing, because he has not been back, and if he was in the village, they would have seen him.
I'm imagining. I mean, the only logical explanation is that Sarada and Sumire told him when he was talking to them in the previous chapter, "Hey, Boruto, did you know that I told Shikamaru about omnipotence and he didn't, and he just kept forgetting, or he doesn't believe me, or whatever they said?" And Boruto's telling Shikamaru,
like, "Oh, don't try. Yeah, don't bother. It's not going to work." No.
The problem, though, is, again, Sarada and Sumire are not acting like Shikamaru keeps forgetting. They're acting like he never believed them to begin with.
But, okay, in the first chapter, what she's saying is her word choice was specific, right? I'm saying you got the entire premise wrong. What does that mean exactly?
Her word choice is Viz's word choice. I'm not counting it.
Really? Okay, but that's what we're using for all of these. Like, we kind of have to have that as like I know it's not the best. Here, go.
Yeah, we have multiple translations to choose from. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, all the translations. If
we're going with Viz, then this is not Shinjutsu. This is Shinjitsu.
See, look, like
don't forget when Mitsuki said, "I love Kawaki."
Yeah, I love the Inu's Chikacho team.
Yeah, actually, hold on. Let's go pull these up real quick. Where's our mistakes tab?
But it literally says in there you have the entire premise wrong. Boruto would never kill the Hokage. That's all she said. She doesn't say anything about him not being what-you-call-it. Actually, yeah, hold up. She never flat out even said. He says he got the entire premise wrong.
Yeah, she doesn't say anything specific.
Wait,
she just says, "I've explained to you over and over. Your premise is wrong. Boruto would never kill Lord 7. At least give him a chance to tell his side of things." At first glance, you're thinking, okay, Sarada's not explaining omnipotence because it's either just not going to work, or she doesn't want to expose something, whatever it is. But then Boruto's saying, "No, bro, she freaking told you all about it, Shikamaru. You just keep forgetting." Meanwhile, she's like, "How did Amado do this? No one's ever believed us before."
Wait, let's pause on the beat real quick. What does she know about omnipotence, honestly? Do we think Ada just like explained everything to her?
Well, Ada.
What is Ada?
Well, you know what Ada did actually? She says what we know recap right now, as if it's new information when she learned this 3 years ago, is a recap of Boruto chapter 80. Any new information? Here's information I've been saying for the last 3 years.
But what does she know? Okay, so Momoshiki is the one who broke down the jutsu for Boruto, right?
And I'm assuming and then Boruto said it to Ada. Sasuke. She's quoting him word for word.
Okay, but like, Shinjutsu, da. But that's it. Like, what else? Does she know about like the effects of it and how like it seems as though since she was consistently talking to Shikamaru about it, she clearly doesn't understand that there's no point of talking about it, right? So what I'm saying is maybe her understanding of it isn't all there, because it's not like people are really cluing, no offense, Sarada into things. I mean, look what happened in the latest chapter. You could have sent you couldn't have sent Sarada in there. But Shikamaru has Mitsuki working with him in the clutches, and he's not even filling her in or cluing her in, or Sumire, even through like mental capacity. He's not even letting him know like, hey, I'm working in cahoots with Boruto. Who's to say she doesn't fully understand the jutsu itself either? I mean, Momoshiki's explanation was pretty damn involved to Boruto, but it's not like he spent too long talking to Ada about it, right?
Well, Momoshiki explained. Okay, so chapter 1's weird, bro. So Sarada and Sumire are talking
Japanese, because then I can.
Sarada and Sumire are talking about omnipotence. It's definitely implied that they have an understanding of what happened pretty clearly.
Yeah, they know people swapped.
And then Damon's like, "Oh, you still ain't given up. It's unwinnable." Blah blah blah. Ada says, "I have no control over omnipotence, just like my ability to charm." Though recently, aka 3 years ago, we've at least started 3 years ago to understand how it works 3 years ago. How could I give up? Any new information? What we know right now that I actually learned 3 years ago is that omnipotence is a type of Recently, my ass,
chapter
bro.
Recap. Chapter recap.
I hate this. Recently, what do you mean? Why are you acting so I'm like left wondering, did Sarada and Sumire have this conversation with Ada ever before or not? Because if they didn't, why do they know all this?
See, how much does she actually know about it?
But why would they know the word omnipotence? Who told them if it wasn't Ada? Because Boruto and Sasuke left.
Hold up. How do they know that word? You're right, she's giving them a recap on it, explaining it. But they use the word.
Recently, but new information. Like, they wouldn't know the abilities called omnipotence if they didn't have this conversation with Ada. This chapter makes no sense from the get-go.
Wait, no, that doesn't make sense.
We told you chapter 14 makes no sense. All of Tuba Vortex makes no sense. Omnipotence makes no sense still again.
Because if they knew about it, then... But if they didn't know...
You see what I'm saying? And then, like, if all it took for Shikamaru to believe them was to just say your memories are altered, if Sarada and Sumire understand how omnipotence works, they obviously mentioned that part.
I'm calling
and then Shikamaru figured this out on his own, so if Sarada and Sumire just explained it to him, he's gonna figure it out, obviously. And so then he would forget it, and they would be wondering how Amado did it.
So here's the thing. I've already done a video about how I think Shikamaru knew ahead of time. I think he's probably figured it out multiple times at this point, honestly.
Then why are they so surprised that Amado did it too?
I don't think he's told them. I think Shikamaru's figured it out, has constantly kept Sarada out of the loop on each occurrence. Because that's the only way Boruto's sentence about... Well, think about it, because that's the only way Boruto's sentence otherwise makes sense to me about him, don't even bother keeping it in your head because it'll go away type deal. Because I remember earlier on in different translations, I thought he had said that, I thought I read somewhere that it said, it's already left your brain type deal. Like or this conversation's already happened. Like we've had the conversation. So,
bro, Sakura's so hunky-dory in the hospital. Doesn't even care.
That's also something I thought was strange. Sasuke's chakra is in the village and she's at a hospital the first time ever. I mean, look, I was surprised and impressed. But old Sakura would have been like, Sasuke-kun, and, sprinted there. Breakneck speed, surpassing
Bro, it's not old Sakura. It's Sakura from Naruto Gaiden, like, 2 years ago, was doing it.
Then, I count that as young old Sakura. I mean, what, Naruto Gaiden is, at this point in the series, about 7 years ago, right? Wait, no.
I don't know if it's that. No, I don't think it's that. I think it's probably like 4 years, but either way.
No,
I don't know.
Pre-Academy, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how. I think it was late Academy. I don't actually know.
Maybe 7. Wait, no, you're right. She might have. No, she didn't have her bandana yet, did she? I don't flipping know. I don't know though. Kakashi isn't being held liable. We talk about consequences. I'm just saying the Shinju are an immediate threat.
How long could you guys not hear me?
That's a 10 tails threat. 10 tails.
When was the last time I was talking?
I don't know.
That's a big problem.
You guys just couldn't hear me?
Yeah, I didn't hear you for however long.
I can hear you now.
When was the last time you heard me?
I don't know.
When you're talking about why you keep saying you're saying about why do you keep saying they don't have time? Like they have time, but then you did the whole Ao and Danzo thing about how they chased him.
Oh God, Danzo! That was a while ago, wasn't it?
Wait, how long ago was I talking? Or how
about
long
1 minute and 38 seconds, give or take.
Okay, so not long at all. That's fine. I don't remember what I was saying since then, so
just recap the whole thing. It's like, see, it's omnipotence. How do you expect Shikamaru to remember this when Ood can't even remember? I just recapped 8 seconds ago.
No, because I couldn't even hear you, King of Cats. That's how I realized something was wrong. Because Kamui was just talking to himself when I was talking to him, and that's why I was confused. Like, why is he not talking to me? He's talking to no one randomly.
Oh, you couldn't hear me either. Space-time jutsu.
No, I couldn't. No, I hear you now, but for some reason, Kamui couldn't hear me, and I couldn't hear you. I don't know why, but whatever.
I'm doing a video on Ibiki and how he's failed the ninja world by allowing
I'm doing a video on why
to...
Ibiki was written wrong in this chapter.
No, he failed. He fumbled the bag.
Ibiki wasn't being Ibiki.
Sitting in a chair. That
was not Ibiki.
That's what I'm saying.
No, okay.
He's gotten soft.
Kamui, can we start calling him EB Deer?
EB Deer? Yes. EB beer. That was EB beer.
0216. Or whatever they're calling it.
I love that, bro. That's hilarious.
I'm gonna take my puppy out real quick. I'll be right back, y'all. You two don't bite each other's heads off.
Okay.
Can Kaz, you ever come back to? Okay, that's good. Because I did want to talk with you the Tokyo Revengers thing.
Yeah, we can get into that now. We've been all over the place. This intro topic about
I know, because King of Chaos can only be here for a certain amount of time, and King of Chaos has seen Tokyo Revengers. So, like, he's the perfect person to go over it with. So I guess we're just gonna wait till he gets back. Until then, Kamui, did you have anything in particular to start with? Something short, hopefully.
Sure.
I'll look at Boruto topics. I know. If you don't have anything, I will. So
yeah, go for it. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do
if you go to Boruto topics, that's fine. Are you in Boruto? Okay, scroll all the way down. So that picture. So this week, the Jura videos have started coming out. I wish we had time for more of the Jura videos, but we haven't. So here are some of my favorite comments from the Jura video. This picture and the one above this, but sticking on this one for now. I can't zoom in.
I'll wait until my puppy wakes up before I take her.
Can you say this for me?
Here. Talk to me about Tokyo Revengers.
I guess we come back to these pictures if you wanted to, Kamui.
Okay, sure.
Pixar didn't happen.
Okay, that's a slight waste of time, but that's okay.
I'm gonna try to find your podcast topic of this.
Yeah, if you control F Tokyo Revengers, that might work better. Let me see if I can find it as well.
I'm trying to full screen Kamui, but I can't for some reason. There it is.
Yeah, I couldn't do it either. I don't know why.
Discord has been crap since they updated it, man.
Or you know what, I bet
so we could probably
control F chapter 13.
Well, I was gonna say we could probably skip over the Kawaki theme stuff, and we're just looking at the Jura stuff, right? Or did you want to do the other stuff too?
I don't know what.
Just look at my
Kawaki
screen.
Theme you're talking about. Yeah, but I can't zoom in on your screen.
Okay, you're talking about the comparison of the Taiju arc and the church fight compared to Kawaki's story arc with the family abuse stuff and blah blah. The stuff that we did in the Twitch.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh my god, I've always wanted to talk about that actually.
We can talk about that. Okay, sure. If you want to, how long do you have King of Chaos?
I could probably tax on another 40, about hour and 15 or so.
We should be good. We want to talk about that. Okay. So Kamui, where did you want to start? I guess we want to start here.
This is mainly your topic to shine, so this is your chance to shine.
Yeah, but I don't know where you're at in terms of that, so I don't know where to go to.
The top. Tokyo Revenge, it's right below connecting plot and story, Jura chapter 13. Right below that. Tokyo Revengers explains time travel like this.
Can you just reply to it and I'll go to the bottom and then go to your reply?
God.
It's on the screen.
It's too much. I know, I can't zoom in to see it well.
I hope you like my message.
Oh my god. I knew you were gonna say something because considering you're taking a long time. Okay. Tokyo Revengers explains time travel like this. And the reason I guess we'll start with that. The reason I listed this, first of all, is because I thought it was relevant considering how many times I've tried to explain it for the infinite possible futures with Koji's Jipo 10 directions prescience pre-science. So you saw probably that like the future
pre-science.
Hilarious. But the future is like a set way, so if he doesn't change it, it's gonna be that way in 12 years because he's already been to the future or whatever.
Wait, so what's the question?
But he can change the future. So the future is set in stone until he changes it, which is how I was trying to explain it for the Boruto series.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. That's how that makes sense.
Exactly, yeah. Kamui just hated that, apparently.
No, it was the way you said it. It was the way you said it.
I'm gonna say, yeah, hold on. I'm putting the asterisk on it. Anything you say Kamui hates, I'm gonna wonder if you're explaining it the same way you explained it to me. Because I feel like it isn't.
No, I just explained it so base. I was being careful when I explained it to him as well. He just hated it. I also like in Tokyo Revengers how if it happens in the past, then there's no way to go further in the past. Like, he can't set his time when he goes in the past. This isn't necessarily relevant to Boruto. I'm just mentioning this anyways. It's like, if someone dies in the past, they're going to be dead in the future either way. But if he goes back to the past, well, it already happened. So you can't just undo it. He can't go past. So he's stuck between two different parts of the timeline, and time is progressing in both times equally. It's like if he spends a week in the past and he goes to the future, he's going a week into the future based on when he was last.
He's like in a time, I guess, metronome, because like he's within a certain bracket, like the 15 years, I believe it is. It's 15 years in either direction, both time frames.
Yeah, it's 12 years, I'm pretty sure, but yeah. So Kamui, like hypothetically, if he's in March of the year 2000, then he can only time travel to March of the year 2012. If he spends a month in the future, and then he's in April of 2012, when he teleports back to the past, he's in April of 2000. And if he spends like 6 months in the year 2000, then he's at like, I don't know, let's say October, November of the year 2000. He can only go to October, November of the year 2012. He can only like go back and forth between that current moment in time, but like time is still progressing or flowing regardless of where he is.
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. Wait, that's not true.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Wait, no.
How so?
Well, Ood, remember, because everyone's seen for the first season, the whole premise was him saving old girl, but that girl died that day. And he goes back in time.
In the future.
But no,
he's changing the future though.
Oh yeah, you're right. So it doesn't matter when she dies.
Yeah, because every time he changes it, she's alive in the future, but then turns out her death was actually just delayed.
Yeah, because she doesn't die till if she were to die in the past. I confused myself there.
And if you remember in season 2, then Shifuyu dies in the future, but only because he took so long in the past that at some point he eventually teleported like to the future where he was just at his funeral when he wasn't even expecting it.
Yeah. Wait,
but like hypothetically he could change stuff in the future if he knew what was going to happen, but he doesn't, so he just can't do much there.
Wait, but that doesn't make too much sense to me either.
You know, he doesn't have the knowledge advantage there.
But here's the thing though, and because that kind of doesn't make sense either. Because today's Monday. She dies Monday. I go back in time to prevent her from dying. But I go back 15 years on that Monday. By the time I come back, let's say I spend 2 days there, and it's Wednesday now in that world. When I go to the future, won't it be Wednesday? And won't she be dead now?
Not if you change it.
Yeah, but he didn't change that. I mean, well, I must be remembering what he did in those earlier days. Yeah, I thought he was there for a longer time. I don't know. I might be remembering things.
So we don't get to see what happens over the course of the 12 years. We just hear about it. But it is a little bit weird how he prevented her death from like a week. Like every single time. Like it's just a week later, 12 years later. But it's because the same thing that happened anyways. If you've seen the end of season 2, technically season 3, it's because the same person's trying to kill her over and over again because of something that happened that was unrelated to him. This is weird. Anyways.
I love Tokyo Avengers. One of my favorite series.
Yeah. But we can move past the time travel nonsense. That was just for like the Prussians thing. So okay, Tokyo Avengers Season 2, Core 1, Taiju arc / church fight perfectly embodies / encapsulates Kawaki's theme / character / story / arc with abuse by a family member who thinks they're doing the right thing / doing it for their own reasons / making them stronger / fighting anyone who intervenes in their personal family matters / the abused ultimately see the protagonist as right and learn and change and stand up for themselves. Screenwriting moments, twists, turns, revelations, low points, high points, etc. are absolutely there. So, King of Chaos, thoughts?
Are you referring to his relationship with Jigen or his father?
Yeah, why not both? But Jigen.
Okay, if it was both, I'd say I don't see the case, and honestly, for either of them, I don't really see the case because Jigen wasn't. Look, with Taiju, you have the whole like weird family obedience, domination thing, whatever. That being said, Jigen, I don't think the Otsutsuki really view family the same, or view have like familiar bonds, or I guess we don't really know what their familiar bond situation is. But like he was definitely, he was trying to take Kawaki's body, right? Like that's not really the same thing as wanting to own and control Kawaki for the sake of controls purposes. He wanted Kawaki that way because he was essentially grooming him and prepping him to be his vessel on some Orochimaru Sasuke shit.
Like, same for Tokyo Revengers. He's just grooming him to become the next leader of Black Dragon.
Sure, but Jigen was actually going to consume his body. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
that plot specific detail doesn't necessarily matter in this game.
Well, it kind of does though, because it's all about what their end goals for them are. Like Taiju's whole thing is control, dominance, subjugation. Like, do what I say because I'm strong and I'm your brother. Obey me. Versus Jigen is, hey, you're gonna be my shell essentially. I need you to toughen up. I feel like their motivations are kind of different.
No, because he's still treating Kawaki the way he is because he's seeing him. Because Jigen's being a father to Kawaki, that's what he calls himself. You can say it's only because the narrative demands it, but he does do it.
He says it ironically. I
don't think it's ironic.
It's pretty clear. I mean, he's going to take his body. I mean, it's one thing if he was raising him to take over his dynasty, his liege, or his becoming Otsutsuki through other means where he'd still have his own identity or his core. But he's literally just taking his body. He sees Kawaki like a car or a suit of clothes, I guess. He's
training him in a way to where taking his body is in the most effective manner possible, I assume. Training him to be strong or whatever.
I don't know. I just feel like with Taiju, for me, it kind of boils down to this. I genuinely believe that Taiju, in some warped sense, actually thinks of his sister and brother as family. I actually do. Again, warped sense. I agree. I don't think Jigen feels that way. I genuinely think Jigen considers Kawaki how you and I would consider clothing. Clothing you may need, or a rebreather maybe, or a pacemaker. Like something he's going to use to survive.
But then he genuinely cares about clothing. He genuinely cares about the vessel.
He cares about a vessel. He cares about some clothing.
Yeah.
He had 11 of them.
Kawaki is his only vessel.
Yeah. After all of his experiments and everything like that. But he doesn't
even try to get another one.
He tried with 11 people.
And then he ended after he got Kawaki.
Yeah, because Kawaki got it. He had what he needed, and that's kind of what it is. It's about all the other kids. Why didn't he just keep them alive like Code or whatever? I mean, I know some of them didn't survive, but some of them straight up got murked. And he didn't know they were gonna die. If he knew they were gonna die, he wasn't gonna take them in the first place. I don't think I do believe Jigen wouldn't waste time killing someone who for no reason. But I'll say this: I think their motivation.
He doesn't kill him for no reason. He kills you because you're a nuisance or you died in
you're in
the
his way.
experiment.
He is very respectful. Again, remember when he's treating Naruto when he first gets to his house.
Oh, of course. But no, I just feel like their motivations are, for me, fundamentally different. I don't think that. I think Taiju actually looks at his family in again a weird way, like a pet. I own you, do what I say, obey me. But I think Jigen looks at Kawaki as like a object, like my car versus my dog. Not really.
Okay,
my dog. How you view your
dog should be in a positive manner. The point is he's viewing them as family wrongly, and so is Jigen.
So here's the thing. I care about my dog in a positive manner, but I have no emotional value, zero, to my car because it's an object. You know what I'm saying? It's a thing. That's kind of how I feel like. I think that's how I would describe how I think Jigen looks at Kawaki, genuinely, a thing, an object, whereas Taiju looks at his siblings, at least from what I saw, as people, just people that need to do what the hell he says, or else. Fundamentally, I think that it's all about how he looks at it. I don't think that Jigen really considers, ironically, Kawaki a person. I really do feel like he just considers him an object to be used, whereas Kaiju...
So I disagree. I think he's looking at Hawkeye as the future Black Dragon guy, and he's looking at his sister, not as a sister, but he only respects the values she presents, which is being able to be brave enough to take the abuse for both of them. And so if it wasn't because of that, he just wouldn't care about his sister, I think.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know about that, because we definitely saw later... I think that when we were watching the story, we definitely saw that there's some nuance to all of their relationships and complications to it. It's not like he doesn't care about them. He cares about them in a very wrong, abusive, horrible way.
But it's about why he cares about them.
Yeah, but he doesn't care about them because of that. It has nothing to do with some weird respect of how much pain she can take. I mean, later on we see them try to. Oh fudge! I died. When we see them try to work out their relationship or whatever, and at the end when everything comes to conclusion. You know, even though he's stepping away and all that jazz.
But at that point, he's changed. Plus, he still sees her the same way anyways.
What I'm saying is, Jigen came to the Earth with the plan to find and subjugate something. Well, actually, he came to Earth for the the tree. But like his goal for Kawaki is simply to be his vessel. You know, Kawaki's happiness, his pain, his sadness, nothing. Like again, if he had it his way, he'd just keep Kawaki locked away in a tiny little case, sleeping like he had him, which is kind of funny. But no, I don't know, man. I feel as though Jigen looked at Kawaki as if he was a thing, and Taiju, for me, looked at them as animals. And for me, that I feel like that because of this, like the difference there, I just don't feel like their situation's the same. I mean, I could see some correlations of it when it comes to maybe the possession parts of it, but just I don't know,
Okay, then how about this? How do you think he would treat Kawaki if Kawaki didn't have the Karma Seal?
Is Kawaki's behavior the exact same?
Yeah.
Oh, he would kill him. If he lived, if Kawaki, for example, if Kawaki, it was Code, but he had the same personality, he would be dead. And I mean, they even said that the only reason Code was kept alive is because of his devotion to to Otsutsuki, and his obedience to Jigen. It wasn't kept alive out of love or nostalgia. He would have packed him up too, because although he was alive, he's a failed user of karma. Yeah, I think that's
I don't think he would have killed him.
I mean, he literally was going to kill Code.
What he would have done.
The only reason Code didn't get cut off was because of his devotion.
It's not that he's going to kill them. It's that they would have died because they would not have been adequate vessels for the Karma Seal.
No, but Code wasn't adequate. Like he survived the program. I mean, the karma extraction, but he wasn't an adequate vessel. And they said that. And then Amato stated that the reason that Jigen allowed him to live still was because of his devotion to Otsutsuki. Yeah, that was stated.
That shows you he does care about them, regardless of why. You can call it the weird respect thing. It's going to be the same with Kaiju and the sister.
I think he would give Kawaki a chance, but the moment that Kawaki just becomes a problem, he would get rid of him the same way he does Victor and Deepa.
No.
No, like in this hypothetical, Kawaki's got the white karma.
No,
if
Kawaki's
Kawaki's
same
running away,
as he does now,
trying to do whatever. Him. Yeah, only when he starts to be a problem. Like he's gonna give him a chance to be a karma. Remember when Kawaki's like, "No, screw you, I'm blah blah blah, I'm gonna kill you." Then he's just gonna get rid of him.
Of course, if Kawaki help him accomplish his goal of planting the tree, sure, because he's useful.
So, I have an interesting one for you. So what if Kawaki gets the Black Karma Seal, and then years later, let's say when the airship crashes, the blimp, whatever, it crashes, his Karma Seal, I don't worry about the explanation, omnipotence happens, he just gets the white Karma Seal instead. It just changes. It just no longer is the Black Karma Seal. How does Jigen treat Kawaki in this hypothetical?
He lets him run away,
and
he's
the same personality? He doesn't let him run away. Not with that information. He hunts him.
I don't think he lets him run away either.
I don't think he would care.
He sends someone after him. Actually, no.
I think he would care. Because at this point, this is after his training.
I'm telling you guys that the only reason that What's-His-Face is even alive is because of his devotion. If he wasn't, if Kawaki isn't showing complete devotion towards Otsutsuki like Code, he's getting killed. I mean, Amato tells us that's the only reason Code is left alive. I mean, granted, you can't really trust anything he says, but I mean, that's all we got. I don't see a reason for him to be mislying about that. And we've seen Code is definitely an Otsutsuki simp.
I think Jigen would take him back because he doesn't want Naruto to have him. Because again, my point of saying this is look at how Ishiki treats Kawaki. I think
he would have killed him, is what I'm saying, in the beginning.
Okay, let me go. Before putting the Karma Seal back on him after Baryon mode, when he catches him, he hugs him. And it's like, what are you doing, my child? Hanging out with the Hokage, learning ninjutsu. This is similar to what he's telling him when he first comes to the village.
Oh, come on. He's that's like the saying he was being unironic when he apologized to Naruto about stepping in his house with his shoes on after kicking him in the face.
You already agreed to that.
Yeah,
but no. Why is he gonna waste time? He's about to die.
Jigen literally has been stated to troll and play around.
He's not joking him out. He's hugging him. And he's telling him, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this, my son?
That's literally within Jigen's character to play around. The same reason he played around with Naruto and Sasuke.
Around.
Yes, he is.
No, you know he's not playing around because look at how he was just acting. He just lost his cool. And he's not gained it back. He starts laughing maniacally afterwards, after he puts the Karma Soul back on. He's like, I've won. At this point, he hasn't won yet. He's still the same guy that's like, Kawako!
Wait, you're talking about two different points here.
Destroy Lord Seven's Bash's chested!
You're talking about two different points in time here.
Seven, he's freaking out because he's losing all
Damn
his
it,
time.
Ood. Which time are you talking? You're talking about two different times, though. I need you to clarify. You're referring to the first moment you said is when he's like, what are you doing? And the have him on the ropes and everything. Well, yeah, he's low on time now. Of course he's going faster. Like, he even says that, oh, you guys make my blood run sweat. And remember when he fought against Naruto and Sasuke originally, he himself also said, oh, I shouldn't be playing around. You guys almost got me. You won't get that lucky again. Yeah, that's the second time. I'm talking the first time.
Don't say that to Kamui. He's not gonna believe you on that one.
Real quick.
Yeah, that's the second time.
Just to clarify, he doesn't call him his son in the Ishiki situation. I'm pulling it up right now. You can look at my screen. He just says,
I know. He does.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because you said that. He calls him his son when he's Jigen in Naruto's house, but when he's hugging him as Ishiki, he's just saying, what are you doing? You think you're a ninja now? Blah, blah, blah. He's dissing him. You're just a vessel, blah, blah, blah. But he's not calling him his son here. I just want to clarify that.
Exactly, but he's saying that when he's not a vessel, currently.
Yeah, exactly. So he has more time to troll and play around when he's in Jigen mode versus now when he's in Ishiki mode running low on time. Absolutely,
but isn't that making my point? That he's doing it in both cases either way? Either way, he's still doing it here, so it doesn't really matter. There's more.
Him hugging him? I mean, that's a grab, isn't it?
No, it's definitely a hug, bro.
So when he dashes in, and that's not a tackle?
He doesn't tackle him, no.
But look, the panel right there on the screen is him dashing in towards him. He grabs him.
Yeah, but then Kawaki's just standing like up by. He like
he's stops himself. He's trying to run away from him.
He doesn't tackle him. He just like
he's definitely tackling old boy there. like that. That's a tackle.
Moving.
He's dashing in and if I dash it, okay, if you're standing still and I dash in at you, what do you call that? Not trying to troll here, but if you're standing still right now and I just walked up at you and I'm flying at you and with my arms out, what do you call that?
And then you stop and don't continue moving, I would call that a hug. But Kawaki's not standing still, he's moving.
He doesn't want to kill the guy. He's trying to make sure he doesn't move. It's like holding a baby bird.
He literally
if you hug him, he's not moving.
It's a hug if he's not moving. He's crazy. That's something that people from my high school would say. Can I get a hug?
Would you prefer grapple or something?
You know, he's that Kawaki's not going to willingly hug him. But dude, you can just tell based on not the tone of his voice because it's a manga, but like the words he's saying, as well as the like expression on his face. Look at his eyes. He's not playing. He's being serious. He's being disappointed in his son.
Disappointed in his object.
That's the thing that I'm getting at, though. His object is his son. The way he views, quote unquote, nothing, an empty, hollow vessel is different from how we view it. Jigen, paradoxically, has a worth in nothing. Jigen views nothing as something from his perspective because nothing is beneficial to him because that's what he can use for a perfect vessel, a hollow vessel, a husk.
So then what about Damon and Ada and all the other failed cyborgs that they experimented? How come they just got packed if he's, a loving dada?
Because they were stronger than them.
He considers them his children.
Plus, he doesn't consider them children. Like, he doesn't consider Code his child. Again, you can call it a narrative convenience.
So why Kawaki?
But again, you can just call it a narrative convenience.
Hold up.
He has the karma. It doesn't make sense to me either. Why
Hold up, nah.
Son-child dynamic in there? But
because they were all grabbed as children. Like, Code was recruited the same way that Kawaki was. Taken.
Yes. Yes.
So like,
so you could argue this is the reason. All right, then if anything, that's good. That's not a narrative convenience because he's considering him their adopted children. Jigen is adopting these children. Is how he's looking at it. That's fine.
But then why did he say that the only reason Code was allowed to live was because of his fanatic nature towards Otsutsuki? Because if it was about his children, he wouldn't have packed them up anyways. Code has no reason to be alive. The only reason he's left alive is because he's useful.
Does he consider him a child anymore, Code? One of his children?
I mean, does he consider Kawaki's a child, one of his children?
I don't mean child in terms of like young or old. I mean in the sense that he like unadopted Code, essentially.
So someone who's useful, who obeys him, who he does not have to get rid of after taking over their body, means less to him from like an emotional standpoint than someone he's just going to wear, essentially. That just doesn't make sense to me.
I think if Kawaki with the Black Karma Seal just died for whatever reason, I think Jigen would cry. Because we already seen Jigen cried after the Naruto Sasuke fight. You could argue that was Jigen the monk, not Jigen the Ishiki, but
his body was
Ishiki cry.
Ishiki said, "Are you crying, Jigen? You're not worthy of me."
But the point is that Jigen's body can cry. I assume if Ishiki cries, then Jigen would cry. I'm just
the whole Jigen.
Then fine. Ishiki inside of Jigen would cry.
That doesn't make sense, anyways. For being honest, like that to me, that's a huge narrative problem.
Because it was a loss.
It makes no sense to me. Like, so Jigen's body is being used, piloted remotely by Ishiki, but he's not a vessel. But he is good enough to be reincarnated, but he's not a vessel. So what? So
there's
why can't
a lot of
Ishiki
nuance
just
here.
Do that to another person's body?
There's a lot of nuance. The comment still makes no sense. We've been over this before.
It's complex. We're talking about a human, though, so it is paradoxical. It's the duality of man. You can call it whatever you want. There's a fault here. There's a flaw. Jigen's narratively incorrect anyways. It has to be there. And so I think it just does work if you look at it from that perspective.
Well, that's my take on it. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. I hear you. Well, I guess I'll only think on that. Let me marinate on that one, because perhaps I don't know.
Kamui,
I mean,
you've been pretty quiet recently.
Yeah, I was trying to decide what I want to eat for half that. Yeah, I decided.
Ramen.
So first of all, Kamui, ramen is hilarious. First of all, Kamui, going back to the original premise, do you agree with me or King of Chaos? Do you agree that Taiju sees his brother and sister in the same way that Jigen sees Kawaki?
I don't.
It's
you're asking Kamui. Yeah.
I don't think it's the same, but there are
maybe similarities. Not like the literal same, but exactly. That's what I'm getting at more so. Like because, broadly the same, generally the same, to be compared.
Because the thing is, like, I mean, to King of Chaos's point, I've always said this, Jigen is looking at Kawaki as an object, that's kind of the point. The biggest thing that I would argue is if Ishiki is seeing Kawaki, or seeing himself in Kawaki. That gets into the whole same wavelength thing, which is kind of like, my theory about karma compatibility and blah, blah, blah. But because in that case, if Jigen's seeing, like, Kawaki, you're my son, you are just like me, and I'm not even capping. You are like me. This is what you gotta do, blah, blah, blah. You can argue, okay, that's kind of like the brother. It's not the same as brothers, obviously, but it's kind of like, hey, we're the same. You got to do what I say. I understand what's best for you, blah, blah, blah. Even if he's got malicious intent, the similarity would be there. However, let's just assume that's not true for a second. Well, then, yeah, he is just straight up manipulating, capping. He doesn't even care. I feel like the biggest thing would be the wavelength. Otherwise, it's just, you're my vessel, and I want you to be my body. I don't give a shit about you otherwise. But I think it's way more impactful if Jigen sees Kawaki, or sees himself in Kawaki. So I'm just going to assume that's true for the headcanon reason.
Yeah, he wouldn't do the countdown. He wouldn't worry about the fish. He would only see him as the Black Karma. How I see it, because I think that's how King Chaos is looking at it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think you can go a little bit further, though, and say, okay, he views Kawaki as an object. Yes. Why? Because he views the Black Karma as an object, and he views Kawaki as the Black Karma. And when we say object, For Jigen, for us, that's a negative thing. For Jigen, he puts value and worth in that object. Because he's saying Kawaki as the karma, then he's putting value in Kawaki. As much value as he puts in the karma, he puts into Kawaki, because he sees them as one and the same. In my opinion.
Well, yeah, because he says you're nothing without karma.
I think
like,
the countdown
your
thing is a
only
mind
value.
game.
So
I think the countdown thing was a mind game, personally. I think it was like just a little mental manipulation. Not like a real, because I mean, think about it. He really ain't got time to be counting and waiting on Kawaki. But like if he instantly kills Naruto, it holds no weight. Plus, I think
he's doing that for Kawaki, not for the karma, because he knows how to get to Kawaki. He's seeing past the karma at that moment.
Wait, we're talking about when he's doing the countdown, like come out here before I kill the Hokage thing, right? Like that, right?
Yeah. Either way, I think it works, but yeah.
The point is, he sees Kawaki's humanity. So to an extent, Ishiki's being hypocritical at times because he tells Kawaki, you're just a vessel, you're nothing, you're not human, you're not a ninja, blah, blah, blah. And yet, when it came down to it, Ishiki understood Kawaki's humanity, and he used that against Kawaki. Yeah. But he couldn't have done that if Kawaki truly was just an object, broken vessel, like he said. Ishiki saw Kawaki as human.
And even though Ishiki doesn't realize it, Ishiki's treating him as human, as
but he doesn't consider humans humans.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Like the whole.
Well, you can just lump that in with this narrative flaw.
I mean, he's an Otsutsuki. He doesn't like. We're thinking of humans as like. Well, I'm saying. I mean, equals. Like, sure, don't be wrong. Like, no parent considers their child their equal, but they consider them like. Society would say you and your parent, or if you were both adults, would say, "Hey, you guys are both adults. You're people." But like Jigen doesn't even look at, or Ishiki, the alien dude, whichever one we're referring to in this case, doesn't consider like humans. He's literally going to sacrifice them. He says that they're food, doesn't he?
Real quick, we're separating humans from humans' humanity. So Kawaki's humanity isn't what makes him human. Kawaki is, for all intents and purposes, an Otsutsuki. He's referring to Kawaki Otsutsuki's humanity. In the same way, Ishiki has humanity, even though he's not a human.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
And humanity isn't necessarily just a positive thing. So you can have negative humanity.
Well, I'm saying like seeing them no, I'm not talking about humanity. I'm saying like seeing them as human is what I'm saying. Like he doesn't see people as human in the same way like we're describing that word. Like because he considers the humans
sees humans as food, basically.
Yeah.
Inferior creatures.
Yeah, food, inferior creatures. So like isn't like how does so when you're saying he sees Kawaki as a human, I'm saying that he doesn't in the same sense that we're thinking of. Like
I agree.
Yeah. Man. Oh, good one. Okay.
Thank you. Kamui, are you available?
What do you mean?
It's a weird way of wording that. Can you see my screen if you stop sharing? Are you downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay. So stop sharing.
Also, Friggins in the audience.
A quick detour.
I should add him.
Yeah, I talked to him in DMs, and I told him that we're just talking about Tokyo Revengers right now. I would talk Boruto with him, but since his bro's on a tight schedule, kinda can't right now. But yeah. Plus, we're already talking about it.
A 2-hour stream is not a tight schedule.
Well, Kamui, before moving into the Jura point, did you have anything you want to say about Tokyo Revengers or just King of Chaos? Anything you want to say about this arc and how it relates to the Kawaki arc or themes or whatever? Your quick review.
I enjoyed enjoyed watching it. I mean, that's really the main thing.
I don't know why I got so much hate. I don't. I thought season 1 was better, but I don't think it was like.
I didn't watch season 1. I only watched the Taiju arc.
Wait, really?
In the middle of season 2.
Yeah, because Oodie was just showing me it to make the Kawaki arc comparison. That's all I've seen.
Yeah. It's hilarious. It's like a condensed Kawaki arc. I've been saying it for some time. I think it's great. It's hilarious. You know what? I could go.
Taiju is hilarious though. It's like picking up like bench. He's like, this is supposed to be realistic, by the way. Then Taiju starts picking up benches with one arm and all this nonsense.
Bro, they just defeat the 400 people outside or 100 or whatever it's supposed to be.
I could solo that. Low diff.
One dude. I love it. So I am gonna hang on this monkey bar. I wonder if I'm allowed. I don't know. You know what? It is wet. I can't hang on it with one hand. It's too wet. That's fine. Either way. So, okay. Yeah, thoughts on the screenwriting, I suppose?
Oh.
Like the storytelling?
The twists, the turns, the high moments, the low moments.
I ain't gonna lie.
Point of no return, the midpoint, whatever.
So, okay, cool. Then I'll give the proper thing. So I watched it a while back, right? And I ain't gonna lie. I enjoyed it. I thought that the setup was good. I like the premise of it being a little bit, they brought it back kind of like to more grounded. Like the stakes didn't start off like S tier is high, even though like there's still the premise of saving homegirl, which I liked. You have a small little sub thing, and I appreciate that because it felt like it was going to be a little mini useless arc that didn't have any bearing to the story. But I appreciated like him basically coming out of nowhere as another big bad, and it looked like him and Mikey and all them are in a clash. And whenever he's involved, it kind of takes away for me at least, it takes away the hype of the story, kind of like having a Gojo around or whatever. But when they pulled up there alone, and then basically the one trader dude who's like basically like an opportunistic guy who's willing to sell them info, like was there to set them up. I thought like okay, that's
Kamui did miss that part, but it's fine.
Okay, well look, he said he watched season 2. I got to know if they're spoiler warning.
He watched the middle parts of it.
I'm not worried about it. I watched what Oodie showed me.
He watched the church fight. The church fight. Bet. That's all you need to know.
All right, we'll bet. So no, I thought that like that was nice, and what I really appreciate is the fact that they let them stand on their own for once. You don't just have Mikey coming in solving all the problems. Because again, I feel like having him in there kind of ruins the tension for me. But what I really appreciate is when they realized that they were screwed, and then you had God, I can't even remember his name now. It's been like that long. What's his face? The MC. I can't remember him. Not Mike.
Takamichi.
Takamichi. God, I'm awful for that. Yeah, Takamichi. You have him like when he was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, that was really uncool of me," and they like level up. And when he actually lands that blow that makes him stumble, and everyone like loses their mind. Like, guys,
yeah,
he got one
we were laughing at that.
I know.
I'm like, he got one punch. Do not. I thought he was gonna make. It was gonna be thinking like he punched him and he fell asleep because like he got beaten down so much after everyone else fighting him.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that'd be cool. That's a hype way of doing it. You're basically saying, hey, Takamichi's weak still, but like he's the last punch we needed. I would have been cool with that. I didn't like them Mikey coming in winning though. I didn't like that. Like him just coming in there and solving the problem. That kind of
the story. No, the problem's already been solved. The problem isn't Taiju. The problem is Hawkeye.
Yeah, I agree. He has to quit being like such a. You are talking about like the blue-haired brother, right? Just to make sure I'm on the same page.
Yeah, so Taiju's the
younger blue-haired brother, because Taiju's also a blue-haired brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, the guy who's letting his sister get beat up and pretending to be taking beatings for that was a twist. I did not see that coming.
You could even say like the inciting incident. He's the reason for the conflict, but he isn't the conflict.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's the reason for it. Just because he's a coward doesn't mean that it's his fault that his brother.
No, I was talking about Taiju.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So I keep thinking you're talking about like his brother, like the younger guy who was hiding.
Yeah. So I as we've all agreed at this point, it's bafflingly hilarious and doesn't make any sense plot-wise for Takamichi just to punch dude and then him just to fall to his knees and then get up and then continue fighting everyone else who's stronger than him and be fine. And it's just not explained. But narratively, do you think this was a good decision to include, or should it have been left out?
Oh, yes. I've read a lot of the manga. Yeah, I think narratively it makes a lot of sense to include. Okay. I don't believe that scene of him like making him stumble was in the manga, though. Honestly.
Interesting. Anime only stumble. That's hilarious. So Kamui, like hypothetically,
don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure
that's fine.
In the manga.
But to make the comparison, do you think it would have been better or worse if Kawaki saw Naruto punch Jigen, and that made Jigen stumble? So it's like, oh, maybe Naruto has a chance. Maybe I will believe in Naruto because of this in particular.
When would we hypothetically do this? I don't remember exactly.
Before they teleport him away? Like
probably when Jigen first shows up to Naruto's house.
Yeah, that's the only time I see it could work. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have been a cool move. I mean, I don't think it harms the story much. Let him get one punch, like because basically Jigen got a hit, Naruto got a hit. It could be a situation like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that'd be fine. Like, that shouldn't hurt anything.
So, what about this? Obviously, that doesn't make sense for the fight we got, but that's besides the point. So, technically, you could argue they did the same thing, but right, or from the other perspective, to where, first of all, in the Code arc, it just implied that Kawaki just thinks that Naruto just has no chance against Code, that he just can't do it, which I think is a little bit ridiculous, but Amado shenanigans.
Yeah, same here. Like Code is. I mean, the fact that Sasuke was able to take his eye.
Character, but
Sasuke took it. No,
it's a little bit ridiculous.
Sasuke took his eye, or with Boruto's help, presumably, Sasuke took his eye with one arm and no Rinnegan.
While a fugitive. Post removing limiters, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know where this nonsense of him not being able to beat them even makes sense. Like, I think that Code. I think the reason that Jigen was so good is because he caught them lacking because they didn't understand how his moves work. Like, Code doesn't have some advantage.
To be honest, though, the problem is, I mean, we made fun of this before. Code was just nerfed because logically it did make sense at first. Naruto, regardless if he was actually going all out or not, he did use KCM and 6-path Sage Mode to beat Delta. Then you have Code.
I don't count that.
Even if he doesn't go all out, he is using his strongest form minus the avatar.
I'm sorry. I do not count that. I can't. I just feel like that's him, like, he's rusty. That's just him getting into battle mode.
That wasn't rusty. No, he was not rusty at that point. He already went through the Momoshiki arc where he was whipping out the skills like no tomorrow, using the fancy
moves. When I'm saying rusty, I'm saying like Naruto, Hokage. Okay, remember the scene in the anime where he literally was he asked Kurama for help when chasing like a random ass villain. But
that's way before the Delta fight. He gets his rustiness taken care of.
Wait, no, I think it isn't. I think it's during like the I think it's.
You're thinking of the Byakuga gang arc where he goes KCM on the bandit for no reason whatsoever.
No, not that. I'm talking about the arc where he. Oh, that's a good one too. But I'm talking about the arc where he, like, Himawari wanted like Kurama plushie, and some guy grabs it and runs away. Leaves the money. He's like, sorry. And later he finds out his kid wanted it too. And then Kurama's like, dude, I'm not helping you.
Wait, did that happen in the Parent and Child Day episode? I don't remember that.
And he's like, if you can't even do this for your daughter, then you can't put effort forth for your daughter even. He's like, fine, I'll do it myself. And
that's hilarious.
Did.
What episode is this? Naruto Parent Child Day.
It might have been for. No, I think it was after Delta, though. I thought it was before.
No, that's okay. That's way before Delta still. It is after the Momoshiki arc in that case, but it's long before the Kawaki arc.
What I'm saying is, but he's not rusty there, right? He's not rusty. What it is he's just lazier, Like, I mean, look, he's a Kage.
Reliant. I wouldn't say lazy. I'd say reliant because he still did
what I mean. I'm not saying, yeah.
He's not reluctant to do it. He was just using one power without even thinking about it. It just wasn't a consideration.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, oh yeah, you're right.
That's what I mean. That's fine. It's convenient for him, so he does it. Yeah, could he have done it on his own? Absolutely. No one thinks random, anyone in the village, let alone some random person who probably wasn't even a shinobi, truly, is getting away from Naruto, let alone on his turf. But like, it's just a matter of thing, It's like, hey, I'm gonna use my most powerful form because why the hell not? Why wouldn't I?
Again, though, we're talking about Kawaki's perspective. So from Kawaki's perspective, even though Naruto was in control, he had a tough fight with Delta using his seemingly strongest form. Then you have Code, who is a well-established Nikara to even after the limiters be stronger than Delta, stronger than everyone else for that matter that isn't Jigen.
Oh yeah,
and then you have Naruto, who lost his strongest power. Yeah, I understand why Kawaki would assume Naruto can't, or at least would doubt Naruto's ability to win. He's got a stronger opponent, and Naruto got a lot weaker. So that makes sense.
On top of that, I want to add that Naruto didn't beat Delta through Kurama. You could argue he did, but my point is that he won through ninja tactics, through outsmarting her.
Yeah, he wasn't like straining. That's kind of my point. He didn't strain against Delta, in my opinion. I really don't think he did.
I think that's besides the point. That's contentious, but that's not my point. My point is that he overcame Delta when it seemed like the odds might have been against him. It doesn't matter if they were or not. The point is he overcame Delta. He, like a ninja, he endured, whatever. Against Jigen, someone who just blatantly was stronger than him, he did the same thing. regardless if he beat him or not, he survived, and he went on against Ichiki, and he survived because it's Baryon. But point is, he did it, and Kawaki just didn't even know they existed. So it's time and time again, he's proving Kawaki's idea of ninja incorrect. So when you get to the code arc, I think the way to explain this, I am making a video about this, and Kamui, I'm making a video about this because you were disagreeing on me about this, but like, I don't think after the Ishiki arc that he's just all hunky-dory or whatever. I'm not saying that, Kamui, that you're thinking that. Okay, so hold your horses. But the way I see it is that like abuse is like a lifelong battle. So even in 2 Blue Vortex, he's doing the decisions he's doing because of Jigen's abuse. He's still suffering from that. Because even if he overcame it once, he essentially relapsed. He just lost that battle later on in life. Like you can overcome smoking and then smoke 30 years later because it's a lifelong battle, is my point. And so
I don't disagree. I'm wondering where the me part came in.
Yeah, well, that's what spawned this anyways. I'm not going to get into that.
But but just out of curiosity, what is the thing I was saying? Because I don't disagree with what you said.
Streams ago, probably. Okay, well, perfect. I'm glad I explained it this time in a way that you agree.
Yeah, which makes me think you either didn't say it that way last time, or you misunderstood something I said.
No, I was definitely not understanding. Just your nonsense annoyed me to think about it in more ways.
No, you just didn't listen. Problem solved. All right, anyway.
Whatever.
Back to Tokyo Revengers and Jura leaving.
well, but this... Wait, no, not yet. But this was my way of explaining to why Kawaki can have this mindset. Because time and time again, it's been proven to him that his mindset makes no sense. But he's just constantly losing his battle. Because the way I see it is that they fixed it for him. Maybe you could argue he fixed it for himself, but regardless, I don't think they gave him the tools or knowledge to equip him to combat it himself. So it makes sense that he would spiral out of control time and time again. Especially once the real world consequences that start affecting other people, he's now forced to double down with omnipotence, essentially. He has reason more so to double down than before. It's more than just a decision. Now it's action that has already happened that is going off of, but yeah. Okay, we should probably get back on topic to Tokyo Revengers. So the Jigen being punched by Naruto thing, is this good or bad? So let me throw a couple things at you for like a comparison. Because again, like the Tokyo Revengers thing, it makes no sense physically. It's goofy, we laugh at it. But narratively, it might be good. We'll get to that based on if we think this Naruto or Jigen thing is good or bad. So, okay. They technically do the same thing, but arguably right or in reverse, to where Naruto does narratively punch Jigen down a peg. When Kawaki in the manga, this is manga only, when Kawaki knocks over the vase and then Naruto powers up to Casey and I guess too, whatever, and Kawaki's like, wow, he might actually be a good threat for Jigen. And obviously we haven't seen them fight at this point, so going into that fight, we could be thinking this, or we could just be thinking that the whole time leading up to it as well. So this is sort of showing that Naruto might be able to combat Jigen, rather than presenting Jigen as this indomitable force or threat. In the same way, that's what the Takemichi punch did. So on the other hand, we have the Code arc, to where Kawaki just isn't thinking that Naruto can just stand up against Code. Regardless if you think it's there, it's at least that moment exists. So,
okay, so you're saying that like if he had punched... Oh yeah, because most of their fights, he didn't really get to see Naruto fight against him a lot, did he?
Well, my point
hold up. Most of the time when Naruto fights Ishiki or Jigen, Kawaki isn't there until Naruto's already losing. Yes. Okay, so you're saying if he punches him, does it make him change his perspective on Code? Is that what you're asking?
Well, let me go from the same fight as well, because let's just say hypothetically in the manga, he never says, wow, Naruto, you KCM might be a threat for Jigen. So if we're just skipping that, then in the manga, it might be more impactful when Naruto is fighting Jigen, he's sealed away, and then Kawaki's arm falls off, and he looks at the arm like Naruto lost. Would that be more impactful or less impactful?
If he said Naruto lost?
Well, no, the same scene plays out. I'm talking about if you remove the scene where Kawaki thinks Naruto might be a threat for Jigen, then when Kawaki knows Naruto lost against Jigen, when the arm falls off, as that scene plays out as is, do you think it'd be more or less impactful?
I'd probably say there's more impact there, because now it's like you're furthering Kawaki's despair. It's like, see, I believed in you, and look what happened. This is what I get for having faith in you.
Keep in mind, this is, what do we mean when we say narratively impactful? Because what is the narrative? The narrative here is Kawaki's change.
That's not what I'm getting out of this. I thought at that point in the story, the narrative would be more so that Jigen is an unstoppable force that even the strongest among us can't defeat.
Well, that's not the narrative. That's more so the plot. But that's how you get to the narrative.
Okay, well, if you're saying the narrative or the plot, okay, what's the difference between the narrative and the plot then?
The narrative is a story.
Okay, if you're going to explain a word with a word, that's not an explanation.
So
if you're going to say I'm wrong, clarify.
No.
I want him to clarify.
I'll give you a couple. I'll give you 2 easy examples, Naruto examples.
I want to hear his examples because he's the one saying it.
I just did a couple, but whatever. Go ahead, Kamui.
I didn't hear him.
He wants to hear yours.
Yeah, I'm all ears.
My God.
Narrative versus story.
The plots are the actions in universe. It's the timeline set of events. Whereas a narrative is what the author's
story. You said story and narrative, not plot. We said story and narrative. If you're gonna say my word's different, we gotta be very specific when we're using. So you're saying the plot is what?
Narrative. The narrative is a story. The plot is like actions in universe. The things that happen on screen. The tangible things in universe. That's the plot.
And the narrative is what happens on the screen?
It happens off screen, essentially. Not off screen, but like the things that
the narrative is what the story is trying to tell us.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and the story is trying to tell us that Jigen is an unstoppable force that even amongst us no one can stop. Isn't that the whole premise of Palky's fear and his anxiety?
But it's not doing that when Kawaki thinks that Naruto might be a threat for Jigen.
I'm talking about when I said the whole, his arm falls off and he thinks Naruto lost. I said that that's more impactful at that moment if you take that away, because then the narrative is being pushed forward that yes, he had faith that Naruto had some strength, but now he's realizing even further that Jigen is an unstoppable force that can't be contested with. Like you can't, there is no saving him.
Okay, yeah, that was my question. So you do like that scene and a juxtaposition, essentially. Okay, cool. That was my question.
I think it would be great.
The same question for you. Do you like the first scene where Kawaki sees that Naruto might be a threat for Jigen because it shows that maybe Naruto can contest him, and then when he loses, it's more of an utter loss, and that can change Kawaki's character in one direction or the other? Or do you like it better the other way, to where it could change Kawaki's character in the other direction or the other?
Well,
or more or less or not at all, who knows?
I mean, it sounds like the question is just keep the scene of Kawaki saying, oh, he might be able to fight Jigen, or remove that scene. That's really the question, right?
Yeah, so basically, in which scene do you think Kawaki changes narratively in a narratively good direction? I don't know. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Even if he changes in a bad direction,
better for him? Like his development?
I mean,
Kawaki's, yeah, because that's the whole point of this arc.
Realistically,
then I want my answer.
Our end result is gonna be very similar regardless, but personally, I think it's better with the scene for 2 reasons. One is from the audience's perspective. It's more impactful to us, like, thinking Naruto might have a chance, and it's like, holy shit, Naruto never had a chance, versus just being told there's no way he could stand up and then just seeing it. I think there's a little bit more shock value benefit that way. That's that perspective. The other perspective is kind of like what King Chaos said. It's almost like Kawaki wanted to believe in Naruto. He tried to believe in Naruto, and Naruto lost, versus just him never believing in Naruto. Now, granted, you could say it's more impactful on the other end when he finally does believe in Naruto, but he never did believe in Naruto. He never thought Naruto was gonna beat Jigen. Or Ishiki. He just got knocked out when he lost Karma. Woke up, found out Naruto was fighting Ishiki, was worried out of his mind, then got summoned there, and was like, holy shit, what do I do? And then when he had to step in to save Naruto, he did. So he never believed in Naruto anyway.
Yeah.
So you have to ask, is it better if he never does, or is it better if he questions it then doesn't?
It's about Naruto's way. And Naruto has Naruto's way. So he used Naruto's way.
Yeah.
That is him believing in Naruto's way, at the very least.
Believing in Naruto's way, but he didn't believe that Naruto was going to solo Ishiki, is what I meant.
Yeah,
you mean like Naruto's mission? Are we talking about Naruto's like philosophy, or like we're talking about his like Ishiki? Like, because those are 2 different things. Like the philosophy of ninjas, love, and all that kumbaya shit is one thing. But if we're talking about his ability to beat Jigen, I mean, I think
it's not about Naruto beating Jigen. It's about Jigen being defeated because of Naruto.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Ninja, the premise of it, their way versus evil, oppression, Naruto's love, way. Kindness beats domination, Ninja way. Subjugation. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No. I mean, I still think I like the route of him seeing him fight, because then his assessment of him not being able to beat Code makes more sense to me, because my main issue is, again, Sasuke versus a non-limiter Code was able to wound him. Like, I think Naruto and Sasuke together, I think they could have beaten a pre-witch. But part of the problem is, in the scene where we see him power up, he never sees him fight. So I think that you need that moment so he actually does get that. I think it's better for the story if he has that moment where he does. Well, we
see what happens in the narrative when Kawaki has this idea reaffirmed. He believed Naruto was going to lose against Code, and then Naruto was about to die in the Code arc. That's when he awakens his karma.
That's not fair.
He doesn't rely or believe in the faithfulness of Naruto. He doesn't use ninja tactics from that moment on. He ignores Naruto, even using his own karma tactics. His own way, rather than
but that wasn't. They didn't fight though. Like that. Boruto gonna die.
It doesn't matter. It's not about Naruto fighting. It's about
Naruto
believing in Naruto
right conceptually.
Yeah.
Okay, now that makes sense.
It's just him reaffirming to Kawaki that he's right.
From a consistency standpoint, from Kawaki's perspective, it might be better to keep the he might be able to beat Jigen scene, because in that case it's like, he might be able to, then he believes in him in the end, in his way. But then with Code, it was a power thing. Like, he wasn't saying that because of Naruto's ninja tactics. Exactly. He saw Naruto's power, thought, okay, he might be able to take on Jigen. Then with Code, he's like thinking about Naruto's power. I don't see how he can contend with Code, making it easier for him to say, there's no way he can do it. I need karma, rely on Otsutsuki, give up on the ninja way, Whereas before, if he thought Naruto had no chance, while in the Kawaki arc, he can argue, it's more impactful when he does believe in the ninja way. But then you come back to the Code arc, okay, you didn't believe in it before and it worked out. Why would you... it's kind of just like, you can relapse, but at the same time, why are you going through this arc again? But the other way, as it is,
here's the thing.
I feel like it's more understandable.
I do think it makes sense. Because I think when he's thinking Naruto might be a threat for Jigen, that's okay. You're not going to agree with me, but I think there is nuance here. I don't think he's saying that because of Naruto. I think he's saying that because of Jigen. He wants someone to be able to defeat Jigen. So he wants to believe in Naruto because he hates Jigen, not because he loves Naruto. At this point in the story, he doesn't even know Naruto.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
but that makes sense. But like 2 seconds before, he was saying like, "There's no way you can fight Jigen," and then he powers up. He's like, "Oh wait, maybe he can."
Yeah, I get it. It's because Naruto powered up, so he's looking at Naruto's power and saying, "Because of this." But I think that because of this isn't because of Naruto's power, even though that's the reason he's saying it. It's because of Jigen, his hatred of Jigen.
That's fine. Then it's just both.
It's like an inciting incident that leads to it. So that's the reason he said it. But he thinks it. He hates Jigen.
But wouldn't his hatred and fear of Jigen cause him to like tell how strong he?
Because I know you're gonna say, well, he hates Code too. Why wouldn't apply there? Code didn't abuse him. He's looking at Jigen as this abuse. Yes, Code did abuse him, but he's not looking.
I mean, he was having nightmares about Code in the Code arc.
I know.
That was of him. That was of nightmares of Code doing what though? I thought it was of him killing.
But he doesn't
choking him out.
Like he almost considered himself like. He almost, it's not that he thought that Jigen was correct because he was like running away, being a mischievous child or whatever, but to an extent he was sort of forced to believe in Jigen. So he did consider himself Jigen's property. It's like, no, you told me here, Jigen's gonna come after me, and then Jigen's strong, so you're gonna...
Wait, hold up. But he also ran away from Jigen himself. So, like, how does that stand?
Yes, but he doesn't think he can stay away. He's doing it anyways, because again, humans are paradoxical. So people in an abusive relationship, something like that, they'll do something that they know is just going to be trouble for them because they want to get away, but they can't, like, springboard off. They can't take two steps forward. They take one step forward, one step back. I think Kawaki does consider himself Jigen's property, and he is worried out of his mind that Jigen's going to come back. That's why he's saying this. In response to that idea, Naruto powers up. In response to Naruto powering up, but because Naruto powered up, because of that, he's saying this in response to, because he's trying to run away from Jigen, someone who he considers to be Jigen's property himself. Rather than Code, he doesn't consider him to be Code's property or anything. That's just someone who is mean to him. It's like Code is abusive to him,
but Jigen is his abuser.
His abuser. Exactly.
Yeah, no. A separation on how, like Jigen's definitely, you know, the rest of them, every category, all of them were abusive because they were enabling it. But like Jigen is obviously the, you know, the head perpetrator in that category.
And if you want to point to a specific moment, I would point to, I guess this is anime only, but that's fine. The anime to where he pushes over Kawaki's fish. He's like, you did this. Because you didn't come out, I did this. Because of your behavior.
Dude, that's
Code
literally
never has a moment
right there.
like that. I know, exactly, which is why I look at it. Because Jigen did that, Kawaki's like, oh man, I guess it is kind of my fault. Man, that kind of sucks. I need to like not do that in the future. I need to just listen to Jigen because yeah, I guess he is technically right there. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Whereas he doesn't have that for Code. He just disagrees with Code on everything. He just doesn't care about Code. He doesn't care about Jigen, but the point is he kind of does care about Jigen because his care is that he hates him. He hates Code too, but he doesn't have a hatred of Code. He just does hate him, as opposed to Jigen, who he has a deep hatred of. If that makes sense. Kamui, do you agree? Thoughts?
Well, yeah, like he hates Code, but he really fears Jigen.
Yeah, he fears Jigen.
Like, Jigen is, for example, like, he hates Code, but Jigen is the one he hates.
Yeah. So you could argue like drunken power, madness, whatever, when he gets his karma back and he's about to blast Code thinking he's going to kill him. I don't think, based on the fear instilled into him through Jigen's abuse, I don't think if Jigen was in that same scenario, I don't think Kawaki could do it. Out of his hesitation from his fear for Jigen. Knowing Jigen is weaker than him, I don't think he'd blast him because that's his abuser. And it's not his physical power that he's necessarily scared of. It's Jigen, I guess personality, but Jigen as a whole. And Jigen is in front of him, regardless of his power level.
I don't know if Kawaki would even think he's stronger in the first place. He might just, regardless if he is or isn't stronger, I think he would think he's not strong enough to take on Jigen.
Okay, I agree. I like that. Yeah. I like that. Okay. Interesting. Oh my god, that's an interesting conversation. I'm glad we had that.
I mean, think about it. You have a pet tiger that you smack around every day. I mean, you condition it to think that you're the alpha or whatever. Even though it could rip your throat out, it won't disobey you type deal. Yeah. Kind of horrible way of looking at it. But
the reason I brought this up is because, Kamui, I forget the last thing you were saying, but like something about it being consistent or inconsistent. I was like, well, hold on, let me add this context there. Kamui, do you want to go back to that if you remember that? Now that I've added that.
So what I was saying is, so basically, if you remove the scene, he might be able to take on Jigen. Within the Kawaki arc itself, you could argue that Kawaki's eventual belief in the ninja way is stronger because he's going from not believing whatsoever to fully believing versus thinking, oh, maybe it can work, to believing in it fully. But then you come to the Code arc, it's like, okay, well, you started the Kawaki arc, didn't believe it, went to believing it. Why are you going back to not believing it? Because from your perspective, it's the same old, same old. But if you add that scene in of Naruto, and he thinks, oh, he might be able to take on Jigen, you have a contrast now to where, in the Kawaki arc, he thought Naruto had a chance. And that allowed, because he was it's almost, okay, this is the worst example of the world, but it's kind of like hypnotism to where it doesn't work unless you already believe it will work to an extent. You're willing to let it happen. So in this case, because Kawaki had the capacity to believe, he wasn't at 0. He was at, let's just say, 30. It's a lot easier to jump the hurdle. But then you get to the Code arc, now he actually is at 0. He just straight up doesn't think Naruto can win. Granted, that's not actually true because he was questioning it, but that's besides the point. If he doesn't think he can win, he's just at 0, you have a contrast and you can understand why he's going to proceed the way he does. The problem, though, he thought there was a chance. He was asking Amado if there was a chance. He's like, well, what do you think?
Something I want to add. So this doesn't negate your point, and I don't want to get hung up on this, so please don't comment on this. I don't know whether or not Kawaki thought he was going to win versus Ishiki using Naruto's ninja tactics. But what I will say is looking at the code arc at the beginning of it when he's training with Boruto, and this is crazy because this happens later on. So at a later on point in time, when he doesn't have his karma skill, his instinct is to rely on his karma. To be fair, that's like a defensive thing rather than offensive thing. But going to the Ishiki arc, this earlier point where his instinct should be more profound and defined, he's not using his instinct of his karma skill. When he does come out for Naruto, it's not just to protect Naruto because he loves him. He's not doing his own thing and ignoring Naruto's wishes or whatever. He's specifically ninja tactics his own way. In a way, you could argue, like the Shinju, he's overriding his instincts if you want to consider using the karma skill an instinct of his, which it is later on, which is even crazier, considering this is an earlier point when he should have those instincts more defined.
But he doesn't have the karma skill at that point, does he? Or his ninja tech, because his arm got...
No, he doesn't have it, but he just lost it. In fact, he just woke up from having just lost it. So he should absolutely have all of the instincts of his karma still, even though he knows it's not there. He knew it wasn't there in the code arc, but he had more time to know it's not there, to lose those instincts.
I do think there's two kind of problems with this, though. The first is that in the code arc, when he does that, he's trying to absorb a jutsu, which isn't applicable to the Ishiki situation because Ishiki doesn't shoot jutsu at him. He just doesn't. That's not his ability set.
I know. Well,
that's the first.
Hang on.
The second is you could argue.
But wait. On that first point, in the code arc, no one's shooting jutsu at him other than the first Rasengan that he absorbs when he awakens his karma.
I'm talking about. Were you not talking about the Boruto Kawaki fight? Because that's what I thought you were referencing, when he instinctively uses karma, but can't absorb it.
I was talking about the training.
Yeah, the Boruto Kawaki fight in the training, yeah. He's absorbing the jutsu.
He tries to absorb it. I understand. I get where the caveat is there, but my point is, he also could have just tried to dodge it. I'm talking about, like, so the reason I'm saying the second fight in the code arc, towards the end of the arc, middle of the arc if you want it, whatever. The reason I'm saying that is because he could be trying to use Naruto's ninja ways or whatever, especially considering Naruto's right there trying to convince him. But he's not. He's relying on Kawaki's way, which is something he didn't do when he was fighting Ishiki. Despite coming out, he wasn't trying to use Kawaki's way. He was trying to use Naruto's way, even though he considers it less effective. From his inhumane standpoint, if you want to say it like that, his deflection of humanity.
So I hadn't gone to the second point yet. The first was just the literal, superficial context of absorbing jutsu for sun. The other part is, well, you can just argue against Ishiki, Kawaki's highly motivated to prove him wrong. He wants to feud with ninjutsu. With the code arc, it's more of a desperation. He doesn't care. He's not proving Code wrong about anything. Code doesn't fucking care. He's just being Code.
I agree. So my problem with that is in the code arc, he's clearly considering Jigen's methods above Naruto. So I think at this moment, it's more so about defeating Jigen than proving him wrong. It is both, absolutely, don't get me wrong. But I think by relying on Naruto's way, the way that he considers himself to be less effective, he has less chance or opportunity to prove Ishiki wrong. And considering Ishiki's whole thing is about power, I get that defeating him through ninjutsu would be more effective in terms of proving him wrong, but he's still losing percentage chance, which, again, he's relying on the less likely outcome because that less likely outcome is what he's believing in at that moment because Naruto basically convinced him.
I mean, the other aspect, or two aspects, is, like, one of them is just going to be superficial again, to where, I mean, in what aspect is this going to manifest itself? Kawaki's just going to activate karma for the sake of activating karma. But then you got to look at the strategy point of view. Kawaki knows that's not going to be enough power to take on Ishiki. What he's trying to do is stall him. And activating karma isn't going to do that anyway. The only thing that was going to do that Kawaki had left was the Shadow Clone Jutsu tactic. And
just Kawaki also didn't have karma at that point, then.
From a strategic standpoint, Kawaki might have just been being a smart strategist. You see him do this in the fight with Sarada. Even when he's arguing for his training method, he's using shadow clones to outsmart Sarada. That's Kawaki being a strategist.
Yeah.
And you could just argue that's all there is to that end. It just is the better strategy, so he did it.
Well, he was fighting like random ninja. He didn't really care at that time. I think that's even before. Was that before he was like, all right, this is the training method, whoever wins? Because even the Shadow Clone thing, he was trying to kill her, technically. Not really, but you know.
He says, hey, Jigen's methods are better. This is what I want to do. Then he attacks Mitsuki. Yeah. Mitsuki blocks and dodges, and he says, good job, Mitsuki. I trust you to be a good ninja. Then he attacks Sarada. Sarada gets mad, and he does the Shadow Clone Jutsu tactic on her.
Yeah. I did read this just the other day, so I am pretty refreshed on this. I thought it was a great moment, by the way. I think it's awesome. When I first read it, I was like, yeah, it's whatever. It's a normal chapter. But now, looking back, it's narratively great.
I liked it. I mean, of course, this is stupid. My favorite parts of the chapter, though, are just A, Mitsuki being badass, and B, Kawaki doing the Shadow Clone tactic and coming up behind Sarada with the blade. Yeah. That was so cool.
That was freaking good, bro.
Like, I wanted him to keep swinging.
My point going back to the Ishiki thing, so I think the reason Kawaki came out, and I'm going to caveat this, I think I'm using that word wrong, but I'm going to caveat this by saying, first of all, it's both. It's both for the next thing I'm going to say. So the reason he came out is more so because of his love of Naruto than it is because of his hatred of Jigen.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would agree, especially in the anime. Where it's the countdown is scaring him. He doesn't want to come out. He's having a whole-on panic attack. And then Naruto comforts him.
That's in the manga too.
So he can make
the difference is the ghost of Jigen.
It's not nearly as much there.
Yeah.
But it's not nearly as good. I mean,
it's not dragged out as much. But it does have the contrast of Ishiki counting, then the Kawaki imagines Naruto hugging him and blah blah blah. So it is.
They don't even have every number in the manga.
Before we start another topic, it is my bedtime since I'm a boomer. And an old man who has a job. It's been 3 hours, might I add you. So I definitely
fair enough.
Actually, no, it's been 3 hours and 30 minutes. I've been a very good participant.
I've been walking a lot tonight. That's crazy how much I've walked.
At least since I joined the Discord. I don't know about when we start going live, but I do have to call it.
I can check.
We never got to the Jura part, but that's okay.
I was going to say, Oodie, do you want to do the Jura part and call it good there, or what?
Yeah.
We've been going for 2... Okay, that's crazy. We spent an hour in the Discord before a stream. It's only been 2 hours, 38 minutes of stream.
Oh my god.
That's not that long.
Well, good night, gentlemen.
I'm surprised. All right.
See ya.
K-Cast, do you want to come back on in the future?
Of course, absolutely, yes.
When is specifically what I want to say there for planning.
I don't know right now. It's 1 in the morning.
Okay, that's fair. Good night.
Let's schedule it tomorrow.
Good night.
Okay. Oh, tomorrow? Okay, bet. But if it's tomorrow, we can hold off on the Jura stuff.
No, let's schedule it tomorrow. Like we'll find some time. I've got a collab. I got to.
Oh, never mind. Okay, good night. Okay, we'll cover the Jura stuff tonight.
All right.
See ya, buddy.
Wait, Ryan.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
Wait, Rain, what do I need help with? I'm confused.
Should we let Free Game join or no?
Well, I did want to do the Jura stuff.
Separately, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna put it, and then I'm gonna go get my potato in the oven. So.
Okay.
We can.
I don't regret talking about all that non-Jura stuff. I probably should have led with that or finished with that rather than starting with it because but you know, with the Kawaki Tokyo Adventure stuff. Yeah. But we did need to get to the Jura stuff. Unless there was something more you. I wanted to clarify my point on this last point because I'm not sure if it fully got through. I think all the points were there, but I didn't make the first. On your first point, your hyper-specific nitpick, or he didn't have an instance to use karma. He tried to use karma in the prophecy arc to steal away Boruto, who was rushing forwards. He could have tried to do the same thing against Ishiki, who Boruto in the same arc did. There you go.
I guess, yeah. But Kawaki, I mean, I guess he knows about space-time ninjutsu, but the thing is, though, it has to be like an instinctive thought for him to think about. So that's not a common thought for him. It's not going to be an instinct. So I don't think, given that Kawaki only learned to do this like 5 minutes before that, you know.
Let me throw it to you this way. I think hypothetically, if Kawaki never saw his imaginary Naruto comforting him, and he came out anyways, just out of worry, panic, whatever, to protect Naruto. So he's like mid-panic attack even. Let's just say he even calms down a little. He just never has the Naruto comfort moment. He's not using ninjutsu. I don't think he is. I think he is trying to punch him or use a scientific ninja tech arm or something else.
So,
or even just run away, but once you see.
I'll caveat this by saying I don't think he appears in that scenario, but hypothetically, if he does anyway, I agree.
Yeah,
His
I don't think it would either.
Fighting would be more like the ninja tech and stuff versus the calm fighting. So
I completely agree. I don't think he would show in that moment either. So this is sort of an out-of-character Kawaki, but like an in-character out-of-character Kawaki. Hypothetical.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, he just does. This is stupid, but Sasuke just Ameno Tejikara's him, so he just has to confront Ishige. He's just no choice. That doesn't work because it has to be his choice. Is my point.
It also goes completely against their plan, but
hilarious way to get there.
That's the point.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God, Sasuke really did dirt evil. Hidari showed up early.
Screw it.
Oh, you know what? Hidari has the Rinnegan. I wonder if he has Sasuke's Rinnegan techniques. Like, can he use a Ameno Tejikara? Can he learn to do it? Or can he just not do it at all? Oh, interesting. He has Sasuke's chakra. I think he could.
But in
That's
theory,
crazy.
But in theory, if Sasuke lost the chakra, as the anime said, because it got destroyed, then maybe he doesn't have it.
No, I think he would still have the chakra. I think. I don't know. It's weird. We don't have to get into that. A caveat there is it's possible that it's not a Rinnegan technique, but a Rinne Sharingan technique, in which he never had the Sharingan, therefore he can't do it. So it's more like it's a Sharingan technique, but only a Sharingan technique you can use once you have the Rinnegan.
That's so stupid. It makes no sense.
But it works.
I mean, yeah, it's just stupid.
Okay. Okay. Either way, we agreed about that Kawaki point at the end there, so I guess that's good. We could probably move on. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to cover on that. Do you agree, or did you have anything else?
Yeah, no, I agree.
We can move on. Okay, cool. So moving on. Let's get to. Let me pull this up on my phone. Tokyo Revengers. Okay, Jura leaving is bad. Are you ready?
Yes.
The infamous talk. By the way, for those listening, we should have said this when we first brought this up, as well as maybe periodically. Me and Kamui reacted on Twitch to the whole arc. So in case you're lost or wondering, and you're probably not listening 2 hours in if you're listening to this, it's not Tokyo Revengers, but we already reacted to the whole thing on Twitch. I'll link that in the description. It's not there right now, but I'll link it after this as the VOD or whatever. Maybe if I clip this as a video, I probably won't, but who knows. So yeah, definitely go check out our reaction so you can see our thoughts on it. But you don't have to if you've already seen it, so you get to listen to us talk about Tokyo Revengers. Okay. That being said, it's in the description in case you want to go check. And go subscribe to the Twitch or whatever. Follow it. So the next time we go live on Twitch, which is probably going to be soon, we're probably going to be doing more Naruto comparison scenes from more anime. So definitely go do that. And here's the thing. We're not just going to stream for whatever reason. Like on Walky Talky, we'll stream like whenever, like once a week, twice a week. And we'll have like a plan going into it or whatever. But like on Twitch, because we could just be doing a Walky Talky of a Walky Talky stream. Just normal cool, but really cool. Okay, with that being said, now that I got the whole Twitch plan out of the way, considering I have a whole plan for every time we do a Twitch stream, so now go follow it. Now we got that out of the way. Get back to the Kamui. In Tokyo Revengers Season 2, Taiju Arc Church Fight, similarly, the protagonists have a moment where they think they need to hold out long and shows up to save the day. They would endure to earn their victory by putting
a win. so long as he can stall long enough for Obito to heal Naruto, heal Sasuke as well.
Yeah. So that they are, and afterwards, that they are actually not changes things. Both perspectives, a lot. I'm gonna walk this way. I've never walked this way.
I'm
freaking tired.
I might just like read what I might have wrote anyway. Oh god, this is a little bit longer than I expected. Okay, so do you want me to just read this?
Sure.
Okay. Unlike Orochimaru in defeat, the level of power Orochimaru was using while he and going all out, but he's using X amount of power. Sasuke Hiyori level of power. Naruto and Sakura survived, but besides the point. He's gonna leave him live, but that's not really the point here. Sasuke earned Orochimaru leave. That's not really the point here. Sasuke earned Orochimaru leaving because Sasuke Orochimaru
Real quick.
Yeah.
Something I want to add in there. But they never had the chance the entire time. We just didn't know it at that time, and neither did the characters. Yeah. Like, obviously, Kid Sasuke, Hiyori version, whatever, and so he earned, quote unquote, the curse mark. He did earn the curse mark because that's the reason Orochimaru gave it to him. Because, oh, he is strong. Okay, good. I was right, so I can give him the curse mark.
Exactly. He passed Orochimaru. Orochimaru was giving a test, or Sasuke passed Orochimaru's test. Now, hand with Boruto and Jiraiya and all them. Boruto and the others did nothing to earn Jiraiya's retreat, at least in terms of how it's presented. They did beat first glance. Is the easiest way to rewrite this. I'll get into it in a second. But they, rather than earning pass my test, instead beating Hidari led necessarily because of his strength, but because of his knowledge of the Lord Souls and all that bullshit. But Hidari, that came about. It led to Jiraiya saying, you know what? That's something like, you're quite formidable, aren't you, Boruto? How amusing. I look forward to test his true power. In this manner, Jiraiya leaving Boruto alive would sort of be a lot like the Orochimaru case. But that's not what they did at all. It speaks to Jiraiya saying not what they did at all. It speaks to Jiraiya saying you need to die, but Hidari's gonna rot. No, and the thing is, if Jiraiya had left in chapter 12, you just remove the you need to die. That was always a concern. Is he gonna rot? Because they beat Hidari, and he's a Thorn Soul now.
Yeah, exactly. It does work. I want to add another caveat here, especially for the Sasuke point going into this. So not necessarily with Jiraiya. I don't know if you can make this work with Jiraiya necessarily, because we just don't have enough information in the story yet. But Boruto has done this a lot as a series, to where defeating Orochimaru, it might not be about Boruto, but again, it's not enough story information. But either way, I guess there is enough. It sort of implies that it is. But like, my point that I'm getting at is that when reading or watching the movie, story, anime, manga, whatever, we're, as the audience, not expecting Boruto to just defeat Momoshiki in a one-on-one fight or anything like that. It's just not the direction the story's going in. It's more so making you think that like Naruto and Sasuke are going to fight them. And again, this applies to every arc where Naruto is the protagonist in part one. Or at least actively playing a role, I should say. The two arcs, I should probably clarify. So, versus Momoshiki, Naruto does the heavy lifting there, as you'd expect. Yeah, Boruto is the one who defeats Momoshiki. He never could have done that without Naruto. We were never expecting him to. That's good. Similarly, Kawaki never would have defeated Ishiki without Naruto in his Baryon mode. It just doesn't make sense for the plot. And the audience wasn't expecting Boruto, Kawaki, these kids who were weaker, to defeat this antagonistic threat. If the threat was going to be defeated, it's going to be because of this higher level of power. And so that higher level of power did the legwork, allowing the main character, protagonist, whatever you want to say, to actually finish off the main villain. Similarly, no one expected Sasuke. Okay. The fight at this point in time, for the first watchers, we don't know who Orochimaru is necessarily. We just know he's this big bad guy. But based on his fight against Sasuke, maybe Sasuke can defeat him. That's fine, because that's the small victory. Again, the larger threat problem is about the curse mark. Sasuke isn't fighting Orochimaru to keep the curse mark off of himself. He's fighting Orochimaru because he's a strong guy and because Itachi's a strong guy and he doesn't want to get hung up here, not fighting strong guys. In the story, in the plot, it's because, oh, he took the scroll and he's fighting in the tuning exams. And he wants to protect Sakura and himself and Naruto. But my point is, the fight is about that, not about the curse mark. And it's not about the curse mark, not only from the character's curse mark, the audience doesn't know about the curse mark. So the fight was never about keeping the curse mark off of Sasuke. It was about everything else, the small fight, which is where he won. Where he lost is the bigger fight. That's the fight that we didn't know what was even happening, but it was happening all along. But that's my point, is that we didn't know. That was the bigger fight, but yeah, I think you get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's consistently good, but then you want to say the thing applies to Boruto and Jiraiya? I don't think it applies, but like if you did want to say it, then it would be bad. But yeah.
I mean, the problem is
really more context.
I mean, it might not sound to the diehard Boruto fans like there's that much. There is a difference. It's just like, it just feels like the read or watch Naruto and you're just a Boruto fan, watch the tuning exam. Thinking, oh my god, Orochi. You're thinking, holy shit, bro. What did this dude just do? Who is this guy? He's crazy strong. This is scary. Yeah. Versus, you're watching the Jiraiya thing. Exactly. It's not just us. Every single person we've had on the podcast has...
Bringing that back to Tokyo Avengers really quick, just to make this analogy comparison. Expecting Takemichi to actually defeat Taiju, this wimpy kid who's like a crybaby, versus the leader gang boss who's the crazy guy who wants to kill him. The end of the fight, where he's all... I still don't think people are expecting Takemichi to win, but it's kind of weird they added that in there, which is kind of another point getting to that, but yeah. Did go the route of where it's like a 1v5, and because the other were Takemichi can, and because he actually does do it, that does change Hawkeye. Because he actually does do it, that does change Hawkeye, because he's the one that's enduring to change Hawkeye. So him defeating Taiju can prove that, but they never went that route. That. Did you have more to read?
No, that was just that. No, that was just that. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I have like that was just that part.
Okay. I guess I'll get to the next part of this. Okay.
I don't know where you left off in terms of this.
I got it right here. Yeah, they would endure, and the audience immediately hear Mikey isn't coming, so the goal is just from lasting as long as possible to winning. And unbelievable odds. Another point, and another reason why convincing of Hawkeye doesn't know, he'd rather die trying to not than to just live and potentially change the future some other way. I think that's the conviction that led to Takemichi being able to change Hawkeye. Not that that's what led, or not that that's what changed Hawkeye. What he needed, like the Hawkeye, which is him continuing to stand against an context, but he still felt that same deep context, but he still felt that same deepness there. But that's okay, because it's still effective. Saw or didn't see of him getting on his going out on his bike. Okay, well, he's not involved. Like Demon Slayer season 1 episode 19, which you haven't seen, that's okay. But don't and could never actually defeat him. But what they did is their narrative win over him. Mikey shows up to save the day. Oh, I scrolled. Weird. Mikey shows up to save the day, catching the plot up to the story by giving them the plot win. They already won what mattered, which in this case is changing Hawkeye, but would have lost the actual physical fight, which would have been pretty funny. Like, if Hawkeye was changed, but Taiju just killed them all anyways. Or similarly, if Kawaki was like, oh yeah, Naruto's correct, and then Ishiki just killed them all.
Yeah.
This doesn't work. So that's why we need Baryon mode, but yeah. So Mikey shows up to save the day, catching the plot of the story by giving them the plot win. They already won what mattered, but would have lost the actual physical fight, but now they don't have to. In the same way, Naruto narratively defeated Ishiki through Kawaki, then plot caught up to defeat Ishiki through Baryon mode. Though this is better because intertwined, unlike the disconnected Tokyo Avengers events. I've actually changed my mind on this. We'll get to this next. But continuing reading. Afterwards, everything is intertwined as we hear what and why Mikey was doing the whole time, recontextualizing, note the re there, everything we knew. So it's not just contextualizing it, it's recontextualizing it, which is important. Giving us answers to the questions we asked / red herrings we saw, making everything make sense. Just Two Blue Vortex has a big problem with doing that.